It's true, I have raised many moon moth species in my life, such as the Luna moth, Actias luna, Actias dubernardi or the Chinese moon moth, Actias menas or the Malaysian moon moth, Actias isis or the Sulawesi moon moth, Actias dulcinea or the sweetheart moon moth, Actias sinensis or the golden moon moth, Actias rhodopneuma or the pink spirit moth, Actias gnoma or the Japanese moon moth, Actias selene or the Indian moon moth, Actias ningpoana, and even Graellsia isabellae, the Spanish moon moth. I've even reared Argema mimosa, also known as the African moon moth. And that's not even all of them. I'm gonna breed more and more and more because I am a big fan of this group of moths. They're absolutely stunning and beautiful, and they make me the biggest insect nerd on the planet when I see them. I love them. But all of these species are nothing compared to what I'm about to show. I was able to obtain one of the rarest species on my channel so far. The species? Actias neidhoeferi, the Taiwanese moon moth. It's very small. It's found only very rarely in the mountains on the island and country of Taiwan. What makes it special is that it's a comparatively small species. It's like a half to 2/3 the size of a Luna moth. Now I'll tell you this. I have been breeding moths for over 12 years. Yeah, I've been on YouTube that long. There's videos of a younger me doing this stuff. So, as you may know, I'm a pretty big fan of butterflies and moths. But let me tell you, in this time, after all these years, I have almost never seen people successfully breed this moon moth. Most people will never even get the opportunity to try. It's simply too rare or too difficult. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what are those? These are a really rare moon moth species. It's only found in a few areas on the island of Taiwan where it's endemic in the mountains. It's called Actias neidhoeferi. It really is one of the rarest moon moth species one could find. And today I'm gonna try a breeding experiment with them. Is this species breedable in captivity, and do I have the knowledge and talent to pull it off? Oh my god, this is gonna be legendary if we succeed. Of course I'm gonna give it a try. My name is Bart Coppens, I study butterflies and moths, and I have a web series called MothCycles. And in MothCycles we try to film the life cycle of insect from egg to fully grown insect. And today we're gonna try to succeed with this one, Actias neidhoeferi, in MothCycles. Let's start the intro. This is a petri dish with eggs of one of the rarest moon moths in the world. In 2 weeks or so they'll hatch. All these episodes kind of start the same way, don't they? Today I'm going to try and raise Actias neidhoeferi, which is one of the rarest moon moths in the world. It is only found in a few mountains of Taiwan, and it eats coniferous trees. It's one of those species. This is tsuga, also known as hemlock. Reportedly, this species lacks the condition of being humid and cool, moderate temperatures, high humidity. Interestingly, despite being one of those species who feed on conifers, they don't like to eat pine tree. In fact, the host plant in the wild, I believe, is a species of hemlock. I have to double check that. But in captivity they have been reared also on fir. Yes, that's right, fir. And on hemlock, of course. I think some people have even used larch or larix, but they do not like pine. And as you can see, the caterpillars are very small. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a paintbrush to scoop them up. Never use your fingers because you'll end up crushing them. They are very small and delicate. Then we place them on the plant. There you go. Yes, we have to do this for each caterpillar that is born. Ladies and gents. There we go. Let's hope they will start eating soon. At the moment it seems that we have 4 caterpillars. And what's also interesting is this moon moth is actually the smallest species of moon moth. That's right. Most people are obsessed with knowing what's the biggest. But this is the smallest moon moth. It has a very small wingspan. Let's take it from here. Since they like it humid, I'm gonna give them a mild spray. The word mild is very important because they are very small caterpillars. And big droplets of water can drown them. So, just like that. Should be more than enough. There we go. This is not going to be easy. In the wild they actually also feed on spruce, I think, I'm not so sure. I'm gonna see if I can find more plants for them to eat in my area and add those to the container. Otherwise we do the standard protocol of leaving them alone and checking back later. Alright, so I've also found this. Just gonna add everything. It's gonna be a bit of experimentation to see what they like the most. There you go. This episode was voted for by my Patreon subscribers a while ago. If you are a patron of mine, it is possible to vote on the next species that I shall breed. And as you can see, Actias neidhoeferi won by a margin. Yes, you people, my patrons. You can determine what I film sometimes. Stay subscribed and consider becoming a member. Day number 2, ladies and gentlemen. This is the moment of truth. We have to see if they started eating. I made a mistake by adding so many plants because the baby caterpillars of this species are smaller than I expected. So it can be difficult to find them now. I wish I would have known this before. Then I would have definitely added less plants because now I have to find these tiny little creatures. And it's gonna be difficult if I want to change the food plant. I'm gonna need a magnifier to make sure that I do not accidentally discard any of them. Now basically I'm throwing the whole book at them. I give them every type of conifer that I can find. Right now they have a mix of spruce, fir and hemlock. And I know what you guys are saying, Bart, why are you not giving them like some pine tree? Aha, well, that's the funny thing about the situation, is that this species doesn't like pine tree. On this channel you've seen me raise some moon moth species who feed on pine tree, which is there's a few species of moon moth who do that. I'm sure some of you remember the episode I did about Chinese moon moths. But this one is an exception. This is a very strange one. So they don't actually like pine. They like large. They like aha. So here, I don't know if you can even see it. There is a very small caterpillar here, sitting on the Canadian hemlock that I got, Tsuga canadensis. And if we look really closely, man, this is hard. They are so tiny. How do I even film this? Yeah, you can see it has been eating. See that? Tip of the needle is gone. So we have a confirmation of the fact that they are eating. And one of the caterpillars at least started to eat the hemlock. Now I checked my Eggies today. Ah, here we go. Come on, camera, cooperate with me. Ah, wow, we have a lot of babies today. I'm quite shocked. So this is going to be a very interesting experiment. And of course we are going to use the brush to brush them off and place them here on their new home and their new food. There we go. Great. Now, these are from a humid environment, so once again I'm gonna spray a little water. I'm gonna spray it up in the air. What happens is some of the mist falls down and gets captured here in the container, as you can see. Sounds weird, but this is how I make sure there's no big droplets falling in. They only want the fine misting. These are the smallest moon moth caterpillars that I've ever seen. And I just found some more evidence of them feeding. Because if we zoom in here, this is where oh my gosh. Caterpillars like to hide here. Do you see it? See the small caterpillar there? Yeah, it's hard. It's so hard to see it. But when we look closely, we will see that it has eaten some of the spruce. I think it's a spruce. It's actually chewing on the needle. So that is really cool. You see those little marks? Those are bites that it has taken, so we have confirmed that the caterpillars will eat spruce and hemlock. Now that France is pretty great of a development. It's gonna be a nightmare to change this food. Thankfully these conifers, they stay fresh for a long time. I can use this for maybe 4 or 5 days before I have to give new food. Because it doesn't dry out or rot like other leaves do. It stays fresh for a long time. But it's gonna be a nightmare. I added too much. And then I have to find every small little caterpillar. Actually, they seem to be eating nearly all the plants that I gave. I expected them to pick one. That is their favorite. The reason I like to give a mix of food plants sometimes to caterpillars is because caterpillars are can be smart. Because if you give them multiple plants, sometimes they all go to the plant that they like the most. But in this case, They started to eat nearly all the plants. I don't know if you can even see it, I'm so sorry. This is the tiniest thing ever. But they're gonna be big and beautiful. Can you even see the caterpillar here? There's one. And there's actually several one of them. For example, here on top, near my finger here, there is also one small caterpillar. Can you see him? Oh, come on. There you go, you can see him, right? Some of them are eating this stuff. So basically they started almost eating nearly everything that I provided. Interesting. So, this is gonna be a really challenging breeding of perhaps one of the rarest moon moths that's available in the pet trade. So far, so good. We're gonna check back later. Fantastic. Alright, this is the third day. Third day is important because if caterpillars start eating and the host plant is not suitable for them, they start to die around the third day. So if they're still alive after 2 days, it means there is hope. Now this, guys, I'm gonna say it again, it is a super rare species, so I'm really nervous at the moment. I haven't felt this excited in years, actually. That's because it's hard for me nowadays to even find species that I didn't raise before. I've raised so many moon moth species. The proof is on my channel. I really need to use my flashlight to even be able to see them. So this dark little thing here is one of mine. Clearly it's been eating. Right, that's good. Oh, I hope so badly they will survive. They seem to enjoy whatever this stuff is. You see the caterpillars? There's several of them in here. So the majority of them are eating this at the moment. Can you see it? Count the caterpillars. Here they are, the little babies. So hard to film this, so hard, so difficult. Oh man, it's so hard. It's so tough. Alright, so I seem to have found a plant that they all really like. They all walk toward it and they start eating this right away. Alright people. So at this point in time, I did add a little bit of paper towel on the bottom, as you can see. That's all so far. And then we're gonna leave them in peace again. Alright folks, I'm nervous. What are we gonna find? Bunch of dead caterpillars. It's been a long time since I've been this nervous for any species. This is nerve-wracking. It's one of the most expensive and difficult species that I can obtain. Oof. My heart is beating very fast. Have you ever been this excited for moths? Oh my! I do see some of the caterpillars have grown quite a little bit. Yeah, this is a larva. Can you see him? I mean, they are very small. It's one of the world's smallest moon moth species. So, but you can see that from the beginning of this video. I think they're already, at the moment, 4 or 5 days old. And they're growing. That's a good sign, actually. If there's none that died, of course. Now, some deaths are expected with a species like this. I would be very shocked if 100% of them made it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean their enclosure a little bit. I'm still gonna give them the same old food plant, because these coniferous trees can last for ages. They don't really dry out. I can use them for a week before I have to replace them, but I do want to replace this paper towel, because that's where they're pooping on, essentially, so that needs to be clean. If you guys want to be a silk moth breeder who is good at what he does, somebody who can raise a lot of rare species that are difficult and be successful with them, the most important thing to master is hygiene, really. The #1 killer of caterpillars in captivity are disease, infections, mold, fungi. You see in the wild, these caterpillars, they sit in a tree somewhere, and when they take a shit, it falls on the floor. Now, the way I'm describing it sounds very crude, but it's true. The way they live in captivity, like locked in a plastic box with their own excrement, is not natural for them. So basically, you gotta clean it every few days, because their own bacteria, their own filth, can make them pretty sick, in fact. And if you are neglectful and you forget to clean your caterpillar enclosure for maybe 2 days too late, well, then they can already become infected. You really want to be meticulous when it comes to cleanliness. Give them a really clean environment if you can. That's really the #1 secret, the #1 rule. Clean them, please. Keep them clean. It's so important. It's the most important thing. Second most important thing is giving them, of course, fresh leaf, you know. They don't like to chew on old plant. I mean, in the wild, they're sitting on a live plant. In the wild, they're only eating the freshest leaf. The juiciest, best quality leaf. Not leaf who are drying out in a plastic container, like I'm doing right now in captivity. So what you gotta do is you replace the leaf every 2 or 3 days. Make sure they're not chewing on dry old leaf. And I'm gonna add some moisture. In the wild, these species live like in a humid environment. Kind of like Actias neidhoeferi if you watch my video of breeding them. Now guys, I'll tell you this much. If you are sitting here watching this video and enjoying it, you are one of the chosen people. So let me tell you something. Not many people in this world are gonna sit here and watch a very long video about rearing moths. Most people could not care less about this kind of subject. So I'm very happy to have you as a viewer. Whoever you are. Thank you for that. Can you see this caterpillar though? It's hard to see. Well, much to my surprise, the caterpillars are in good health. But I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, you know. They still have a long way to go. I mean, the most challenging is often the first instar. So if they make it through that, I'll be happy. It's usually the first instar or the final instar where things go wrong, you know. First instar because they are very sensitive and fragile. And the last instar because that's takes the longest amount of time. So, oops. But yeah, look, you can see some caterpillars crawling around in here. See that? There they are. My little rarities. I hope so badly that we can pull this off. You know, that would be something else. Yeah. Let's hope so. We're going to put on the lid. And as usual, check back later. Thanks, guys. Looks here like we even have some of them in, I think it's the, not sure if it's the second or third instar, but they are green in color now. just to show you guys what it is that I found and what we are dealing with. So do you see these green things here? Yes. These are our super rare little moon moths, Actias neidhoeferi. And I'm happy to say that they've become bigger. I did not expect to get this far with this rarity. If this works, then I don't know what to do next. Because this is one of the few rare moon moths that I haven't raised. If we raise it, we have to move on to something even more rare. That's gonna be hard or impossible. Even this species I used to think is impossible. I'm never going to breed it, but here we go. Again, I don't want to be too optimistic. Lots of things can go wrong. But look at it. Is that not amazing? If we do this, I'm gonna be so happy. So freaking happy. Wow. Beautiful gentlemen and even more beautiful ladies. And other identities. Today we are going to take a look at our babies. They have grown. Much to my shock and horror, they're still sitting on the same cuttings that I used weeks ago to replace the food, and they haven't moved on to the fresh food. That annoys me. Thankfully, it takes ages for coniferous trees to dry out. So, you know, they can continue feeding for a long time on the same plant without being in danger, you know. It stays fresh for a long time. But still annoys me. Oh my god, see, these are the small cuttings that I made, and there's still caterpillars on them. I guess the caterpillars of this species, they don't move much, they just sit still. So I'm gonna make sure today that they are sitting on the fresh food I picked for them. Let me clean this. Here's the old food. Here is the old food. And if we take a closer look, we do see that some caterpillars have significantly grown. Now once again, they are still very small, as you can see. Very small, but larger than what they used to be. I'm not sure what instar this is. Ooh. I'm not so sure what instar this is. Is it 3 or 4? The size is very small, so I think instar 3. But this is also really small species. No, I think this is instar 3 maybe. Not so sure actually. It's my first time doing these. But look at that, it looks very cute. Wow folks, some of the caterpillars have grown wonderfully. This is where the video is starting to get very cool. Can you see it? This is the very rare caterpillar of Actias neidhoeferi. What? That's so cool, isn't it? That's so cool, man. Can you see it? It has such unusual colors, eh? Wow, I love it. It's so beautiful. It's really one of the rarest moon moths I had on my channel. Together with the Actias neidhoeferi, if you remember that video, the pink spirit moth. And we did another rare one, I think. Oh yeah, Actias isis from Sulawesi. That was also a rarity. But this one is, I think, even more rare. Because this one is found only in one country on a few mountains, so it's even more rare than the other species on my channel. It's the rarest moon moth I've ever had so far. Wow. And the caterpillar is starting to look, it's still small, but starting to look very pretty. Of course, once again, we never use our fingers to remove caterpillars of such rare species. We use scissors. I cut them loose. I'm gonna cut some of the needles too, just to motivate it to move on to fresh food. Otherwise it's gonna start eating this small cutting for weeks. I don't want that. I want it to eat fresh food. So I'm gonna remove some of the needles so it doesn't have much food. And it'll move on to another plant. That's great. Well, let me collect some more of them. I see a lot of caterpillars in here. Thankfully they gotten bigger. It was very difficult to find the small ones. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you need the YouTube channel of Bart Coppens. I mean, hey, is it cringe to do some self-promotion here? I'm a YouTuber, right? I need viewers, haha. Don't mind me. But seriously though, there's no other channels on YouTube that show this variety of species. I'm the only one. And I'm proud of that. And I hope you do enjoy this show. It's not been easy to obtain this kind of stuff. And be able to raise it for you. Well, I'm also raising it for me. Not only for you, but we're doing it together. You and me, together on our little adventure. I do wish I could talk to my viewers, you know. You're sitting there behind the screen watching this. I'd like to talk to you and show this to you in real life. Oh well, at least we can share this stuff, thanks to the internet. Otherwise I would be completely alone. So yeah, as you can see, they're growing well. I don't think I have that many caterpillars, maybe like 10 or 13. But I also didn't have that many eggs to start with, you know. I think I had like 30 eggs. Oh, hello, Seema. I think I had like 30 eggs. And out of these 30 eggs, of course, not each of them hatched. I think I had like maybe 20 caterpillars from 30 eggs. And then we went from 20 to about 10 healthy larvae. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I think I have like 12, but I still have to take a good look at some of the other spruce. If I really don't want to forget any caterpillar and leave them behind. They're so small, you know, you don't want to overlook one of them by accident. Anyway, a result I am happy with. Next step, of course, is their new container with fresh food. Just gotta place them in one by one. Here you go, enjoy the new food. Enjoy it, little babies of mine. I can't believe they're still alive. This is really a way to prove myself as a breeder. Breeding this rare species. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I gotta pull it off. Oh, they're finally starting to gain some size. This, my friends, is the pinnacle of moon moth breeding, if you ask me. No one can defeat me now. Which species should I breed next? It's getting harder and harder to obtain rarities like these. Look at how it feeds. This species seems quite comfortable in plastic boxes. I suppose that's the easy part. Their habitat is very humid, so they can handle the higher humidity in breeding boxes for a start. If everything works out, I'm gonna be super proud of this episode. It will truly be a delight. I believe this to be Insta 3 out of 5 or so. Well folks, neidhoeferi progress. Are you enjoying this? If you are watching these long videos of mine, you are the 1%, baby. There's not many people on the internet who want to watch a 30-year-old Dutch guy ramble for a long time. Slowly, painstakingly slowly taking care of all his caterpillars over and over. With the smallest and most insignificant updates. Each time they've grown 1 more centimeter, which makes me excited. Oh my god, the caterpillar went from greyish to olive green. Most people are yawning. They do not care about this content. Even the people on YouTube who really want to see moth content, this is too extreme for them. They just want to see clickbait or close-ups of cute little moths. You know, on the TikTok, on the Reels section. But you are the 1%. If you are watching this stuff, you are a hardcore moth fan and you have a real interest in entomology. So thank you for watching. 1, 2, 3. I feel like I have too many caterpillars in one box. I'm gonna divide them over 3 boxes today. So here's the update. Somebody please pinch me, because I think I'm dreaming. Because pretty much all the caterpillars are still alive. And I did not expect to come this far. This is one of the... I've been saying it so many times, but this is such a rare and exquisite species. Like, my channel is reaching the pinnacle of moon moth species around the world that you can raise. I'm getting to the point where I filmed almost all the very rare species. Well, not all of them, but like many of them. And it's getting harder and harder to find species that I have not reared yet. There's a few of them out there that are very hard to obtain. Now, can you see the little caterpillar here? I think this must be a very early instar 4. Perhaps. It's a young one, but it does look like it. In a way, the caterpillars look comparable to many other pine-feeding species from Asia, like Actias neidhoeferi, or one species that we've seen on my channel that's not very closely related. Well, it is a little bit, Actias neidhoeferi. It is a pine feeder and it also has the metallic patches on its body, and breeding them feels kind of the same to the Chinese moon moth in my opinion, except the food plant is a bit different. You're supposed to use larch or hemlock instead of pine. Fir also works, and spruce, but not pine tree. This one I think just shed its skin. Look at how cool it looks. Very cool, isn't it? Very cute and unusual. Wow. What a species, fellas, what a species. It's great. Look at those little horns. It's really unusual little species. Next I'm gonna do the thing where I find all the caterpillars and use my clippers to kind of cut them loose. Of course, don't cut the caterpillar loose. Just cut the branches that they are sitting on. Do not dislocate the caterpillars with your hands ever. They hate it when you do that. This process typically takes me 30 minutes or more, sometimes up to an hour, because I need to be really careful. Thankfully the caterpillars are now bigger. I know you remember at the beginning of the video how small they were? Then it definitely took me an hour to find all of them. Now it's more easy, but we still have to be careful. They are still very camouflaged. And I need to find all of them. And make sure I don't accidentally clip through any of them. So this is very careful work. Lots of people say, well, being a YouTuber is easy, you know. You just make video. It's not easy. I do a lot of work for these videos, you know. Some of my videos take many months or years to make, and I spend a lot of time and effort and attention in these videos. Sounds like I'm self-promoting, but I'm being honest. You know, it's work. Raising moths, you just ask anybody else who is in this hobby, right? And you think, oh, these are such small creatures, you know, it's so easy. Well, it's much more demanding than most people think, actually. Moths and caterpillars can take a lot of attention and care. Especially the caterpillar stage. The cocoons are very easy and the moths are somewhat easy, but right now these caterpillars taking many hours of my day. Now guys, if you're wondering what are the fruits of my labor so far, I think it's about 17 caterpillars, which is not bad because we had 30 eggs, and out of 30 eggs, not every egg hatched. I think we had like 20 caterpillars out of about 30 eggs, and about 17 of them survive until now. This is very good survival rate, but don't count your chickens before they hatch. They still have 1 or 2 more instar to go. And the final instars can often be the most challenging with these kind of moths. So that's going to be the very biggest challenge. Is to get them to the final life stage and make sure they survive somehow. The final life stage of this species is going to be very beautiful, so I look forward to that. Funny thing is, I've been raising all of them on a complete mix of food plants. Like this is hemlock. See the small needles? This is spruce. This is like spruce. Hemlock. I've been mixing it. Different species of spruce also. And they don't seem to care. They indiscriminately feed on all of them. So I'm just gonna keep doing that because they say, well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And this stupid method seems to work. I'm surprised. I imagine they would choose a favorite. So I'm gonna divide all of them over 3 containers to give them more space. So I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 of them in here. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have some caterpillars left. Let's see, we can divide this. If we are very careful, that is. Let's see. 1, 2. So each box has about 5 caterpillars at the moment. That's it, folks. This is how you raise neidhoeferi. Ho ho ho! A tower of neidhoeferi. We have about 15 caterpillars. So I'll be happy if we can get like a dozen cocoons. Ladies and gentlemen, please ignore the music on the background. I think some of my neighbors are playing music. Don't worry about it. Today we are going to check on one of the rarest moon moths that my channel has seen so far in 10 years. And we're gonna check their progress. They've been in these boxes. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, do you see what I see? Are you seeing what I am seeing? I'm not gonna say it. What are we seeing? Let me bring it closer to you. First thing I'm gonna do, of course, is give them new food by collecting all the caterpillars from the box, cutting them loose using the clippers like we did before. I'm not gonna explain you all the basics, guys, because this is a species for more advanced breeders, just because it is rare and valuable. Actually, I don't think they have been super hard so far. I've been surprised at how forgiving this species has been. Still, I don't recommend doing this one as your first species. That would be a big mistake, because they are rare and valuable and maybe not the most forgiving species. So I'm just gonna assume that my audience right now, the people watching, are people who have a little basic experience, alright? So, and therefore I'm gonna say you know the drill. You know how we handle larvae on this channel. You know how we do that. There you go. You take all the old food out. You guys are gonna get fresh food from me. Yes. In each container I have about 5 larvae. So in total we are rearing about 15 caterpillars. Now 15 does not sound like much, but it is if you consider I had like 30 eggs in the beginning. Right? I started with 30 eggs. Not all the eggs hatched. I think I had like 20 caterpillars. I think maybe I lost about 5, which is honestly a great survival rate for this rare, difficult species. Now look at it. Oh my god, they are so beautiful. They're still shedding between instar 4 and 5. They will be even more beautiful in the future. This is just the start, guys. They're going to be more impressive and bigger. Like more fancy Jubernardi. I researched this species and found that they are from high elevation mountains, where it's cold and misty and wet. So I'm just going to keep them in plastic boxes in captivity. These plastic, their whole life, like from caterpillar to cocoon. Because it kind of adds up to the conditions that they experience in the wild, you know. Humid. Plastic box will keep it humid for them. There you go. Enjoy. What a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant species, guys. I cannot get over how beautiful they are. Wow. This is one of the best caterpillars of 2024. 2024 just started. Wow. What a caterpillar, eh, folks? What a caterpillar. And look at the metallic shine. It's gonna get even bigger and more beautiful. Oh gosh, this is so special. Such a special, super special moment. And I hope that you're all here for it as much as I am. Wow. I'm gonna leave them alone. The caterpillars are sensitive. So I'm gonna cover them. That was great. Looks like the rest of the homies is also doing fine. Thing is, I'm not gonna disturb them too much today, even though I wanna. I mean, I have to, because I have to take care of them. There's no way to keep the container clean and give them fresh food without touching them, you know, it's not possible. But also, some of them are still in the process of shedding their skin, and disturbing them during this moment is bad. So I'm gonna keep like my amount of handling and filming them to a minimum. And maybe in 2-3 days, when they have settled in and start eating, that's when I start making more pictures of them and videos. Some of the ones who already shed their skin, I will photograph them and film them for you right now. It's okay to make close-ups of those. But not the ones who are like actively shedding. That moment they are vulnerable, you know. So that's it. That's the thing. There you go. Container number 2. Some more fresh paper towels. We know the drill. Add some food. Let's see. Let's clip some food. There you go. New spruce. There you go. You guys will love it. You guys will love it. Look at you. My wonderful little babies. I love you. I love you, babies. Oop. I love you. I love you. I have so much love to give. endless love for creatures who don't even love me back, but I really love them. That's the word. Love, love, love. It's the word of the day, love. I didn't want to show you the oh wait, let's show you the contents of this box for a little bit, okay, but not too much. Because in this box we have many of them shedding, as I've said. I just quickly changed their food, but here you can see. So this is another N-Star 5, final life stage. That's great, isn't it? It's great. But we also have some ones here that are shedding, see? Stupid camera, collaborate with me. So yeah, you can see these are shedding. You can tell by the head capsule, their head looks very small, like it's about to pop. And that's literally what's about to happen. They discard their old head. They're like their mask, their head capsule. They burst out of their own skin. Oh yeah, look at that, it's so beautiful, wow. Is that not so beautiful? Anyway, more pictures of that later. This box gotta be left alone. Box number 3, the final box. See, it's the caterpillars once again. I'm gonna cut them off. You see the clippers. There you go. Wonderful, wonderful. Gonna keep the cuttings with larvae on them. It's easy to remember. I have 5 larvae per box. 5 times 3 is 15, so we got 15 caterpillars in here somewhere. That's the status at the moment, 15. Yes, wow. In my opinion, I'm doing well. First time with such a rarity. My biggest breeding tip is don't get sloppy. A lot of people think like, whoa guys, my caterpillar are in the final life stage. Finally, they're going to make it. Now I can relax, you know, now I can go easy. Wrong. That's where it gets hard in the final stage. That's where it gets the most difficult. You don't relax. This is where you do the most effort. You're close to the finish line. Don't trip before the finish line, alright? Great. Great. Many of them growing well, ready to pop. As we say in the Netherlands, poppetje gezien, kastje dicht. You have to translate that. Hoi, and we check back later. If we pull this off, I can already tell it's gonna be the life cycle video of the frickin' year. Whoo boy.
Stream 7 days a week. I gotta go to appointments, guys. These are important appointments. If not, couples therapy with a horse. And if not, because of his $5,000 a month business expense, guys, according to my bankruptcy filings. He makes, well, over 120 grand, but let's say he makes 120 grand. He writes off 60 to his taxes on $60,000, which would be over $11,000.
Folks, I have 3 boxes of neidhoeferi caterpillars and I'm gonna divide them into 5 boxes, which means 2 more. Well, this means 3 caterpillars per box, right? Because 3 times 5 is 15, yay! Middle school level moths. No wait, it's even lower. Elementary school level moths. I still have it, folks. I'm not gonna show you the whole process again, because we did it several times and it's nothing special. It's really just taking these caterpillars out and placing them in new boxes with more fresh food that I gathered outside. We can quickly show you the larvae. By the gods, they are really beautiful. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, these caterpillars, oh god, I'm so happy. Look at it! I have never seen such a crazy and awesome caterpillar. Like, of all the moon moths I raised, these are probably the coolest caterpillars I've seen of a moon moth. In the second place probably comes Actias neidhoeferi, because they have these caterpillars with gorgeous blue tubercles and yellow. And the third place probably Actias neidhoeferi. They have spectacular caterpillars with shiny gold. But number one so far for me is this beast. This neidhoeferi beast, wow. And it's crazy how such a small, tiny species of moon moth can have one of the most crazy and outlandish looking caterpillars. They look like a small dragon by some stretch of imagination. So beautiful. Oh! Oh, here they are, ladies and gentlemen, here they are. All my caterpillars in one place. 15 of them. I don't think I'm going to do this again, you know, because I don't want to mess with these caterpillars too much. So this is our only chance of making a close-up of all of them. One of the things that I really cannot emphasize enough is their beauty. They are, in my opinion, extremely beautiful. They're like little Christmas trees. I mean, their friggin' food, the things they eat is a Christmas tree. It's fir and spruce. But the caterpillars themselves look like one. Complete with the ornaments. Completely with the shiny decorations and the red and green Christmas colors. Wow. Have you ever seen this many caterpillars of neidhoeferi in one place? Now guys, let me tell you a little bit of a story. Actias neidhoeferi is a very rare species of moon moth. In the wild, the females are rarely ever seen. Even people who live in Taiwan have rarely seen this species. And if they do, it's typically the male. Females are very hard to get. I know entomologists who work in Taiwan, who do a lot of moth trapping, moth observations. And even they see the female of this species maybe 0 to 2 times per year on average. There's years where people don't find one. Because the female of this species, they don't really come to light much. Maybe they are just not so active and not so drawn to light. They are very rare and elusive. And the fact that these moths are only found in the country of Taiwan, high in the mountains where especially the females are rarely seen. And do remember, the most important information to remember is it's the females who lay the eggs. If you want to start breeding moths, you gotta find a female first. That's what you start out with. That's how it starts. If you want to breed a new species in captivity, you need to typically locate a female who is willing to lay fertile eggs. Now, because this species is so rare and so beautiful, they are very sought after. And since this insect is new in the pet trade, in the insect hobby, they've been very valuable. And at the moment that I'm recording this video, the market value, the price of one cocoon of these moths is worth $30. $30 for one cocoon. Now right now we have 15 caterpillars, and I think these 15 caterpillars could make 15 cocoons. So if all these caterpillars made it to cocoons and I sold them, the value of just these few caterpillars here would be around $450. That's close to $500. Just this little heap of caterpillar. And the eggs of this moth, I've seen people sell the eggs for as much as $10 for one individual egg. Now, you can imagine that one moth can lay up to 100 eggs. I haven't actually counted how many eggs this species will lay. I could be wrong, it's my first time with them. But certainly most moon moth species, and I'm assuming this species as well, will typically lay about 70 to 100, sometimes even more than 100 eggs. So yeah, if you can successfully breed this species somehow, then you can literally make thousands of dollars from them. At the same time, it does feel like this is a very stupid and capitalist way of looking at things. I don't breed insects to make money, I breed them for knowledge, okay? I'm not in this hobby for the money, and I don't sell or farm animals for money. I breed them and I farm them for knowledge and for documentation purposes. The life cycles of such insects are rarely documented by anyone. I'm one of the only people doing it, certainly with so many species and such rare species. On such a massive scale, I'm truly one of the only ones doing something of this nature. And it's completely true that I'm trying to make a living doing this. You know, my YouTube channel is for me also my business, and I'm trying to make it, you know, it would be my dream to be able to live off it somehow, even though it's very hard. But I feel like this is totally different from farming animals for profit. I don't farm or breed animals for profit just to sell them. I breed them to make entertainment and educational videos, and I am trying to monetize these type of videos. You know, I'm trying to monetize information and knowledge. I'm not trying to monetize the bodies of the insects. I am not farming, you know, their eggs. I am not farming their cocoons. I'm not farming the specimens for money. Instead, what you are looking at right now, me making these kind of videos, that is the, I guess, the meat and potatoes of what I do. It's educating people about these insects, it's talking about them, it's filming them in high definition. That's very important. And it's very hard to make a living off of it, of course, because not many people care. I mean, who cares about moths? Me and my very small channel that barely has at the moment 40,000 subscribers. If you're watching this channel in the future, that number may be different, but right now it's close to 40,000. And with my small channel, I'm already one of the biggest channels. So that's quite crazy, isn't it? Like, there's just not that many people who care. There's not a big audience for it. So that makes it really hard, you know, to be successful with this. Even if you're really good at it, there is like a limit, a ceiling for how successful you can be. Because not many people are just interested in the topic, you know. It's really about marketing it. You have to make it funny, entertaining, silly. You have to appeal to people who don't care about moths also, and that's really hard. Now, some notes about the breeding of this species itself. How has it been so far? What's been my experience? My experience so far is that they are actually easier than I expected. Do I think this is a species suitable for beginners? No, I don't think so. I don't think a beginner can raise this moth. But I also don't think you have to be an expert. They have grown much better than I thought they would. They have had a very good survival rate, and I've been keeping them in a very simple little setup with plastic boxes. And as you can see, I raised them in plastic boxes all their life. You know, the start of this video I had the babies in a plastic box, and even the final instar, I still have them in plastic boxes. And I think the food plant is very convenient. Coniferous trees doesn't really dry out much. And that's fantastic, you know. Because one problem that we have with breeding caterpillars is that, you know, you have to raise caterpillars on leaves. Most caterpillars are vegetarians that eat plants. You need to find the right plant species for them to eat, and I guess you can also raise them on a live plant, which is actually a superior option, but for some reason we just rarely do that. But most people will be cutting the leaves or twigs or taking branches of the food plant and placing them in boxes and raising the caterpillars on that. And it works if you replace the food plant every few days, because they do need fresh leaves. Caterpillars get all their nutrients and moisture from the leaves, so if they're chewing on old, dry, decaying leaves, it's gonna be bad for them. At all times you want your caterpillars to be eating fresh leaves, if you can do that, if that's possible for you to manage. Or at least as fresh as possible. But a huge advantage of spruce and hemlock and fir is that these type of coniferous trees, if you pick some branches, it will stay fresh for a week. So you don't really have to replace it often, and that's really nice and convenient in my opinion. That's great. Now, what are our chances of succeeding with this breeding project? We don't know yet, but we have 15 caterpillars right now in the final life stage. Now, if all these caterpillars make it, I think chances of getting a pairing from 15 cocoons are pretty alright, you know? Usually it's a bit of a numbers game. The thing about emperor moths or Saturniidae silk moths, you know, is they have a very short lifespan. Most species, they only live for a few days. Especially this very small species, Actias neidhoeferi, they don't live for a long time because they're small, you know. On room temperature, I expect them to live for maybe 7 to 10 days. Females will be older than the males. But the problem is, when the moths come from the cocoon, there is only a short amount of time that it will be alive and available for mating. You know, if a moth is single and it stays a virgin for too long, for several days, the moth will grow old, it will become weaker, its wings and legs will deteriorate, and its chances of pairing and its interest in pairing will all decline. So it's kind of like spinning a roulette, you know, it's a numbers game, it's probabilities. And you can increase the odds by raising more moths, by raising more individuals, you know. But typically, if I want to have a mating of silk moths, it's useful to have you want to have maybe at least 10 cocoons. I'm just coming up with a random number because there's actually no hard rule for it. There's no hard limit, you know. You could have 100 cocoons and have bad luck and none of the moths pair. And you could have 2 cocoons and it just turns out that the only 2 cocoons you have are randomly a male and female who come out the same day and they mate, yeah. So it's, of course, there's no guarantees or promises in there, you never know. But yeah, you can manipulate the odds by raising a bigger number. And I think 15 cocoons would be a good result. I think if we have 15 cocoons, I think we'll have a decent chance of getting that mating, which is what we really want, you know, getting a mating would be the best outcome, but we don't know. Like if we have bad luck, all of these caterpillars could turn out to be males or females, you know. That's another thing that you have no control over, is the gender ratio. Yeah? Okay. I remember a friend of mine once raising over 30 cocoons of one moth species and all 30 of them are female, so what are the chances? So you can never know for sure. You know, we can play with odds and probabilities. But I think we have a good chance of breeding them if these make it. Anyway, I'm gonna place them back in their boxes. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm not gonna film the whole process again. We did it several times. Some fresh food. There you go. And then 3 caterpillars per box. 1, 2, 3. 3 per box only. Lastly, you're gonna wanna put on the lid. Yeah, that's right. Here it is, our whole population. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I love you guys so much. I love that. My friends. My babies, I love you. Some people ask me, Bart, how do you get good at breeding so many species? Secret ingredient is love. You have to love your animals. I know I can't hug actual caterpillar themselves, I would squish them. But you have to love them in order to take good care of them. Really, it makes a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy. Things are wrapping up. So I was checking the container and I made some observations that I undoubtedly want to share with you all. Some lucky observations. I'm going to spoiler it, of course, but some of the caterpillars are making cocoons and we have to be real careful not to disturb them during this process. Let's get some zoom in here. So in here you can see a caterpillar, can you see it? And if we peek here between these pine needles, we can see one larva here forming a cocoon. Can you see that? It's spinning silk cocoon. Now during this process we do not want to disturb it, alright? If you break the cocoon somehow by accident, then some species cannot do it a second time. They'll just pupate without a cocoon, which is not great. And in rare cases they'll die, even though that's a bit dramatic. Anyway, I'm careful, I know what I'm doing. But this is a cocoon. Cocooning neidhoeferi. We're gonna leave it absolutely alone, but this is just made me very happy because it means we are nearing the finish line finally after I think it's been 1.5 months of raising them, which is typical about the average development time for many silk moths. So yes, our caterpillars are pretty much fully grown at this point, and I have a little ruler here that is centimeters, not inches. Sorry, inch bros. So how many centimeters is this, guys? How big is this little caterpillar? Is it fair to say that it's about 3.5 centimeters? I'm not sure if the 0 metrics should start here. Yeah, just about 3.5 centimeters fully grown. I mean, it's not a small caterpillar. I've reared many smaller species on my channel. It's just small for a moon moth, you know. It's just like how a small elephant would still be a big animal, because even the smallest elephant is bigger than the biggest cat, if you know what I mean. I know that's a very silly little metaphor here, but that's how it works. Yeah, for this is definitely the tiniest moon moth I've raised. Most moon moth caterpillars get to at least 5 centimeters most of the time. So I'm expecting a really small species of moon moth, which they are. I don't know, I keep bringing it up all the time. They're so small, they're so small, they're so small. I'm pretty sure you guys get the point. It's just that I'm perpetually amazed. You know, I'm perpetually impressed by my own insects all the time, because I'm so passionate about it. I apologize to some of my viewers if this is going to be one of those really long videos with an excessive amount of footage. But the truth is, this species is so rarely offered, and the opportunity to raise them is something that I so rarely get. This may be my only opportunity of filming them in the next 10 or 20 years. If they disappear from the pet trade. And I just want to make sure I get as much footage as possible. These kind of videos are really for people who are deeply into moths and entomology, who appreciate all the details. And I know they are a minority of my audience. I know most people, they come here to look at pretty pictures of moths, you know, and not to watch excessively long, hour-long videos about one single insect, right? Like 99% of the world population don't care. But that's where my channel is different. I make specialist content for specialists who really intimately want to learn about moths, you know, on a high level. Not just, oh, this is a monarch butterfly and it eats milkweed and it migrates to Mexico. Bye, subscribe. I want to make long, extensive videos showing you unusual and rare species for the small amount of people on Earth who are just like me, who are just as obsessed with moths as I am, even though they are very rare and probably not big enough of an audience to create a successful YouTube channel, to be honest. But yeah, people who are super bug nerds like me, they need some love, you know, they need content that caters to them as rare. I mean, name any other channel that does this kind of stuff. There's a few, but the information they present is inferior. So, and that may sound really arrogant, like, wow, Bart, do you really think that you're the only one that's doing this? Yeah, on this level I'm the only one. You know? So that's all I'll say. And I'm really taking my chance, you know, really taking my opportunity here to show something off that is maybe the only video I'll make of this species, who knows? If I'm lucky, I'll get a second generation and maybe even a third generation, and I can make more footage and more videos in the future, but it's still a rare opportunity. So this kind of content is really for the hardcore, biggest moth nerds on Earth, you know, not the casuals. I'm sorry, filthy casuals. Just kidding. Of course, casuals are very welcome on my channel. And I have many videos for people who want to learn basic facts, right? I'm not saying that, you know, this channel is only for the chosen ones. You know, casuals, get out. No, I don't want to be like that. I think it's very important to promote love and passion for the environment. For insects, insects are animals who sadly don't get much compassion from society. People think that they are ugly or dirty. And I'm trying to change people's minds, you know. In a way, this channel is propaganda. I'm trying to show people that insects are important, cute, fun and beautiful. Trying to break all the stereotypes about them. And I hope it's working. You know, so it's not like I want to be, oh, get out if you're a newbie. No, this channel is also for newbies. Newbies are welcome. It's important that newbies watch my videos. But at the same time, I'm also gonna make long videos. It's self-expression. You know, extensive videos, hours-long videos. And even though they take a lot of effort to produce for a small amount of views, I'm still gonna do it, because for me it's self-expression, you know? It's like art in a way. It really is. For me it's self-expression to talk about insects and show them off in the way that I want to show them off. In the way I want to depict them using my vision. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here, I'm getting carried away. I tend to get carried away when it's about insects. So, actually this species has been easier than I expected. Everybody told me, Bart, this is one of the most difficult species you're ever gonna rear. Nobody has reared it. It's so difficult. But now I'm sitting here and from 30 eggs I'm about to have 15 cocoons, which is a pretty good result considering not all of the eggs were fertile. I think we had about 20 larvae, so only 5 of them died, which is, if 5 out of 20 die, I say that's a pretty good survival rate, you know. I hope I'm not bad at math here at the moment, but that means 75% survived, isn't it? What really seemed to work for this species though is to not place too many larvae per box. I was raising about 5 per box in the end, and now I'm down to 3 per box. And here we can see another one spinning cocoon. Do you see this lump here in the paper towel? Oops, let's be real careful here. So this little lump, believe it or not, this is another larva making a cocoon. So inside of this paper towel, I'm not sure if I can show it, I don't really want to disturb it, it's a bad moment. See? So this brown stuff is silk. It's making silk. It's forming a silk cocoon. So here's a cocoon number 2. And I'm sure I'm going to have more cocoons, but you know what? I'm not gonna do that today. Because it's a bad idea to disturb caterpillars who are in the process of spinning. And they have fresh food plants, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave them completely alone for 2 days. I'm not gonna disturb them in any way, I'm just gonna leave them in peace. And then I'll come back to collect my first cocoons to see if they succeeded. Yo! That's it. I'm gonna bring them back indoors. See you in the next update. Hello folks, I hope that you are all having... Hello folks, I hope you're all having a fine day. I noticed something when I recently opened the container, which is the fact that I cannot find any caterpillars anymore in most of the containers. Why is that? Well, the answer is very simple. Most likely they started making cocoons. So what we're going to do today is going to look for said cocoons. Now here I have cleverly included some paper towel. Paper towel is a great medium for many species to make cocoons. There should be 3 in there, had 3 larvae per box. Aha! I see something brown in here. And if we carefully open it, we peel the paper away, then we can find tiny silk cocoons. Can you see this? Hope you guys are watching and paying attention to this. So this right here are 2 of the cocoons of one of the rarest moon moth species in the world. Literally. So with that we are very happy. Look at that. So that's 2 cocoons right there. Now they like to use materials they can find for the construction of their cocoon. In nature they can use leaf litter, but if they have the alternative of using some paper towel, then they are going to. Another little cocoon. Is that not fantastic, folks? I think it is. I think it's just wonderful. And the rearing part of the video at least is gonna be over maybe after this. I think I have some caterpillars left, so that's not exactly true. Cocoons I find, I'll just collect them here in this little container. So this is 3. 3 of the first cocoons, but we will continue to search. 3 larvae per container makes it very easy to find all of them, because I know exactly how many I'm looking for. I should use this method more often instead of just randomly dumping a random number of caterpillars in a container and then scrambling to find everything. So here basically I don't see any caterpillars anymore. They vanished, so I'm expecting here in the paper towel there to be 3 cocoons. We shall see. Open it up a little bit. There you go. Cocoon number 1. Number 1. Here's another one. I try to not open the cocoon it's bad to rip open the silk. Structurally, I want to keep the silk intact. Thankfully, it's tougher than the paper towel, so if I tear it open, it's not going to damage the cocoons. Yeah, another cocoon. So that makes 6. 6 cocoons at the moment, bros. So, fantastic. So it's just next container. Are you guys enjoying the little cocoon hunt? Hope so. You have to be really obsessed with moths to like this content. Oh, look, that's cool. This caterpillar actually spun a cocoon in the branches of the, what is it, fir? Spruce? I don't even know at the moment, I forgot. This allows us to take a good look of what a cocoon really looks like. The rest of them just use paper towel. I'm gonna leave it in here. It's a nice opportunity to make a picture. It looks natural on a pine branch. I can use it for photography if I wanna describe the life cycle of this species on my website. I have a website. It's called breedingbutterflies.com. It's pretty popular. It gets 2,000 visitors a day. And it's actually one of the reasons of my online success. A lot of people think, wow, Bart is known from YouTube. Bart is known from Instagram. It's true. But my website actually gives me ad revenue. And 2,000 visitors per day. You should check out that website. I document everything I do on my blog. On blog. Man, did I just pronounce blog as blog? I'm embarrassed. My stupid little accent. So, what's this? 2 more cocoons, I tell you. This rate. We're going fast. I think this cocoon is not finished yet. I see a live caterpillar inside, so we should be gentle with it. This one probably still needs to pupate, so we have to handle it very careful. Let's take off some of the excess paper and place it in this box where I place all the cocoons. That's just fantastic. Today is a good day. I'm in a good mood. This hobby really elevates my mood if things are going well, you know. If things with the moths are going badly, it ruins my day and I'm angry all the time. But if things are going well, I'm pretty much happy all the time. So this hobby and how it's going really determines the way I feel. What's this? Aha! Guys. So here we have found one caterpillar, one larva. Must be one of the last ones. We're gonna take care of him. So when I said all of them have made cocoons, it's not true. We have one caterpillar left. Take a good look at maybe the last time that we take a look at the larvae. It also goes to show how individual caterpillars have a different growth rate. You know? So here's a little cocoon, cocoon number 1. I'm trying to look for 2 cocoons in this container because we have one live caterpillar who did not cocoon yet. So there we go. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, next one. Let's save this larva. Yep. There we go. Nothing in here, nope. So there should be one more cocoon in here somewhere. Let's see. Ah, there it is. There it is. Oy, there we go. I should be more careful pulling that stuff out, but there we go. Guys, I'm not a big fan of opening cocoons. I think it's a bad thing to do. But I'm gonna do it in just one individual. Because I need to take a look at what the pupa looks like of this species. Oh, it's a very fresh pupa. We have to be really careful. But what I want to show you is how small the pupa of this species really is. I've seen many species of Actias on this channel. Species of moon moth. And this is just incredibly tiny, isn't it? Like, this is one of the smallest ones that we've ever seen. Gonna take more pics of that later. Thing is, guys, I document all the life stages, and I also need to have a picture of the pupa sometimes, you know, because I study these insects and their morphology a little bit. So yeah, pictures of pupa and their shape can be an interesting morphological characteristic. Ah, whoa, guys. So there's another caterpillar. This one is a runt. This one is really small, to be honest. I think this one has kind of stunted growth, but we're still gonna take care of it, right? We're still gonna try to keep it alive, because maybe it will catch up in size later and still make a cocoon. You never know, it's a rare species. Also, I take care of all my pets, including the weak ones. It doesn't show any signs of being sick, apart from just being a very slow grower. But hey, you know what? I'm also a late bloomer. I'm not gonna share my whole life story with you, but in my 20s my life was difficult, you know, and now I turned 30, I'm for the first time experiencing some luck and success in my life. I'll talk about that in another video, that's too personal. Let me tell you that I was a late bloomer, and many life experiences that people have in their life didn't come to me until I was in my late 20s or 30s, so I can relate to that little slow growing caterpillar. So, should be 2 more cocoons. Here's one of them, spun very neatly in the branches. There you go. Whoop. Next patient. Well, this should be the last cocoon, really, down here. That's it. Let's pull it off. Let's clean some of the rubbish. There you go. So what's the status? Well, I'm extremely pleased to have 12 cocoons. This is extraordinary. Wow. That's insane. So this alone, what you're looking at, is worth 360 euros if I sold it. Because the market value of cocoons, at least right now when the species is new in the hobby, is 30 euro per cocoon. Now the price is gonna go down and the species is gonna become cheaper, because I had to be one of the first people to obtain it in captivity. But the more people breed it, the more common they will be, the lower the price is gonna be. So when you're watching this video, you probably think that I'm lying or bluffing. But I'm not. At this point in time, I'm one of the first people with this species in the hobby. So yeah, right now it's very valuable. Hypothetical scenario. What if you have a container of some very rare moon moth cocoons? What you gonna do with them? Well, I like to keep them a little bit humid if I can. So I'm gonna place them here on this mineral. It's a magic mineral. It is called vermiculite. You've seen it in many of my videos. If you're a fan of my channel who watches my stuff that I upload, then you've seen this stuff on my channel several times, you'll remember. Vermiculite. I'm a fan of this stuff because it's great at absorbing moisture. If you want to keep something humid, place it in vermiculite and then spray it with water once a week. And then this mineral is gonna absorb the water and slowly evaporate it over time. I think people use it mainly to grow plants, but I use it to keep the cocoons of moths humid enough. Typically I try not to open the cocoons, but I have opened 2 of them just to see if the pupa are healthy. I don't open all of them, but it's good to have an inspection. It's not super harmful, they can hatch fine. But it's just so we can see the live animal inside, what it looks like and how far the development is. And sorry, let's have some zoom. This brown thing here peeking out of the silk. This is actually the pupa, this is the animal itself. The rest that we see is just a silk casing. So, there you go. Hallo, wat moet je? Wat mooi. Now, when it's ready to turn into a moth, you will typically see it color up. In the beginning they tend to be like brownish or wine red. Over time they will start to become darker, so this means the pupa are now undeveloped, but that's logical. They've just only pupated. Now I expect in about 1.5 months or so. So we can see our first little moths. And yeah, this is a small species. So little moths it is, you know. Let's see what else we got. More cocoons in here. There's 2 of them in here. Just gonna leave them in this little bit of paper, even if it looks strange. Why not? Doesn't do any harm. In the wild they would use leaves or leaf litter to make a cocoon. Here's the one that spun very nicely here on top. Just gonna place it here on the side. I don't know, maybe I should take it off, to be honest. There you go, I took it off, sorry. Otherwise it would take too much space. So let's see. I think this is all. This is a lot of cocoons here. How many is it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 12 cocoons, a dozen of them. That's fantastic, folks. And we are waiting for the last caterpillars to make a cocoon still. So now, folks, this is my moth breeding cage. I know it sounds strange, but this is where I have all the cocoons. As you can see, of many species of moths and butterflies that I'm trying to raise here. Just to study their life cycle, you know. Some people will say this is strange, but this actually helps the animals to document their life cycle. For many species it is unknown. And I've been the first to raise many species in captivity. So this helps their conservation. In case you feel judgy when you see a guy hoarding moths. So there is a philosophy behind it, there is environmentalism behind it. What you're going to want to be doing next is spray them with water to keep them humid. I do this to all my pupa and cocoons a few times per week. Just keep everything a little bit humid. And so the cocoons of neidhoeferi in particular, they like to be extra humid because it's a species from a humid environment, so they don't dry out. Don't be afraid of giving them a lot of humidity. They need it and they want it. There you go. And the vermiculite will absorb most of it. And the rest here will stay nice and humid. That's how it works. Okay, let's check back later. I'm sure I have a silly segment like a few days later I check back. Let's play it. Folks, I do have a tiny bit of bad news. The last 2 caterpillars just refused to grow up or pupate, and one of them has died. Now, this was the one that I called the runt, the dwarf. Oh, it's so windy! My God! No! So yes, one of the last caterpillars has died. It happens, you know. Gotta clean it out. Sometimes you get caterpillars that just don't grow well, no matter what you do. They are developmentally a little bit stunted, it just happens. Anyway, let me show you what's going on. Sorry for this chaotic little update, it's very stormy outside and it's very awkward to film. I have 1 caterpillar left. It looks healthy, I'm not sure if it's gonna make it. That's because for some reason it's taking ages to grow. All its brothers and sisters have already made a cocoon. But this is the last caterpillar, it just refuses to make a cocoon. Oh, the wind. So I hope nothing is wrong with it. Anyway, we're gonna keep rearing it, see if it eventually will cocoon. I hope so. Would be nice. Last little caterpillar. Guys, as I was checking the cocoons of the rare moths, I noticed something. One of the cocoons is empty. And I can tell because there was a tiny hole here on top. See that? That's weird. So why is it empty? A moth must have come out, but I don't see any evidence of a moth. Except for this golden big silk moth, but it's another species, right? This is not the species this video is about. So where is it? Well, I took a quick look at the window and I saw something here. Sitting against the window border. Yep, it's one of my moon moths. I'm not sure how it got out. But it's official, ladies and gentlemen. This must be the first neidhoeferi, somehow escaped, but sat here by the window. Wow! Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. One of the smallest and rarest species of moon moth on my YouTube channel once again. Bart Coppens cannot stop winning. This is a species that I've wanted to rear a really long time, since I was much younger. It always seemed like an unobtainable dream. I'm very sorry about the wind that's blowing the moth to the left and right. It's not really wanting to sit still. Look at its cute little face though. This is what a rare animal looks like. A rare insect. Oh my gosh, it is so cute! It is so cute! And compared to most of the moon moths that you see on my channel, it is a small species, isn't it? Wow, so how do you guys like it? Of all the moon moths on my channel, it must be the rarest species so far. And actually, I've been saying so much how small it is, but is it really that small? It's still pretty large moth by any metric, if you think about it. Still has a decent wingspan of maybe 7 centimeters or so. It's not the absolute miniature that I've been trying to make it out to be. It's just compared to other moon moths. Oh, the wind is just being so annoying today. I want you guys to check out its cute little face. Look at its cute face. Wow. So judging by the antennae, the shape, this is a male. Our first individual is a male. And the real question is, am I going to be able to mate this species? Because as we know, we're gonna need a male and female at the same time. And this can be a challenge with moths that only live for a week or less. Unfortunately. That's the real downside of all of this. So considering the male has now just come out, we're gonna need a female ASAP. And I mean, like, we're gonna need a female today or tomorrow. After that it's too late. I still have more cocoons. We rear like I think we got eventually like 14 cocoons, didn't we? Something like that. 12, 13, something. Over a dozen. So if this male is single, it's not the end of the world. Oh my god, the wind! Stop! Oh my god, it's so annoying. The weather in the Netherlands is so unpredictable. It's cold. Stop. Oh. Well, moth seems to be clinging to the stick, so it doesn't mind. Anyway, statistically we should have males and females with about 12 cocoons. All we need is 2 of them to come out at the same time. I hope that the odds are in my favor. It is really a lovely species with very bright pinkish legs. Oh, would you look at that? How can you not love it? Ah, so cute. Don't you love moon moths? I don't think there's anybody else on YouTube who filmed as many moon moth species as I did. It's not even close, to be honest. Yeah. Oh well, the other channels are boring anyway. So there you go. Here is Actias neidhoeferi, the Taiwanese, the mini moon moth. It's absolutely gorgeous. And just take a quick look at this creature for a moment, you know. We just have to enjoy it. This rare species is very hard to get in the hobby, in the pet trade, in the hobby scene, unless you know the right people and have the right contacts, which I do, of course. But I've decided to make this into a long video, because it's probably the only time that I'm gonna raise this species and film his life cycle. I don't know if I'm gonna do it again in the future. If so, it's probably gonna take a really long time for the species to return to the pet trade, since they are just so hard to obtain. So I'm gonna take advantage of it by just making this into a very big long video. You know, taking really my first and only opportunity to do this, just to show it off properly. Amazing! Oh, the wind, stop! The weather is really not helping me today. Anyway guys, I'm really happy. My YouTube channel is growing really well. And we are getting some really unusual species on my channel lately. I've evolved from a breeder that did tutorials on some of the basic stuff into breeding some of the rarest stuff. And we're gonna keep going. This is not the end of it. This is just the start of things. You're gonna see some of the rarest moths on the world on this channel. Just subscribe and be patient. I'm working on so much, but this is really the pinnacle of my breeding season this year. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Gonna take our first male and place him in this pop-up cage, these enclosures that I use for moths. There we go. Absolutely amazing. So, I'm just gonna keep him here. Gonna keep him waiting for a female to arrive. That would be wonderful. I think some other males are ready to come out soon. Awesome. We have our first male. Judging by what the pupa look like, we are going to have more soon. This is the pupa of another male. This is the cocoon that I opened before. That's why the inside is exposed and we can see the pupa inside, and we can see how developed it is. Like, this moth is just ready to come out very soon. If you ask me, it's almost fully formed. If you've seen a lot of pupa and cocoons in your life like me, then you can tell. Ladies and gentlemen, I just woke up today. Much to my surprise, we have 3 more moths. I should say this species is really synchronized, as in all of them really like clockwork come out at the same time. Which is good, but much to my disappointment though, seems we've gotten 3 males tonight. So, as you guys know, I'm gonna need a female if we want to breed them. I'm wondering how many of the cocoons that we reared are female and how many are male. It's of course a bit random. Yeah. So that is a bit annoying in my opinion. Still, we're gonna wait and pray, I suppose, for a female to come out. Well, folks. Well. You ever seen 4 males in the same place? Some of them already have minor damage somehow. But that's what happens with moon moths. They don't stay in like a good condition for a long time, sadly. Anyway, these are my 4 males that I have right now. 4 rare Taiwanese insects. Well, it was hard to get the species to cooperate, but I've done it by placing them all on a stick. So yeah, these are our epic Taiwanese moon moths today. I should put it up, they like to hang. There you go. So yeah, 4 males. Kinda annoying if you ask me. It's not good. Well, it is good, but I'm just really worried about pairing them a little bit, you know. Not to ruin the fun or entertainment, but yeah. It's a very rare, expensive species and I want to keep the bloodline going. If I can. You know, that would be excellent. Struggling to hold them. These moths are very skittish, I don't want to upset them. And to get all 4 of them to cooperate in one shot is kinda tricky, to say the very least. Yeah. Anyway, can you believe that these gorgeous caterpillars we reared are now this creature? You've gotta love metamorphosis, don't you? Gotta love it. Wow. Really awesome. I do love moon moths, they are some of my favorite moths. You're a fan of my channel, you know that, because, well, the amount of times that I just breed them, it gives it away, doesn't it? Yeah, so yeah, we got 4 males. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what are those? These are a really rare moon moth species. It's only found in a few areas on the island of Taiwan where it's endemic in the mountains. It's called Actias neidhoeferi. It really is one of the rarest moon moth species one could find. And today I'm gonna try a breeding experiment with them. Is this species breedable in captivity and do I have the knowledge and talent to pull it off? Oh my god, this is gonna be legendary if we succeed. Of course I'm gonna give it a try. My name is Bart Coppens, I study butterflies and moths and I have a web series called MothCycles. And in MothCycles we try to film the life cycle of insect from egg to fully grown insect. And today we're gonna try to succeed with this one, Actias neidhoeferi, in MothCycles. Let's start the intro. Awesome species, I am so happy today. I'm also really struggling to hold all of them for a camera. Gosh. It's such a weird, silly species, I have to say. The really beautiful caterpillars made this experience like 100 times better. Because the caterpillars are just insanely beautiful. Now, one thing I'm not happy about is the fact we got 4 males, people. Let's hope that please that we get a female. I really need a female to come out of the cocoon anytime soon. That would be very welcomed by me. and by my fans and viewers who want to see the whole life cycle and how we compare this rarity. Wow, don't you love it? I made this nice little composition for you. Do you like it? The fourth individual was not very cooperative, so I didn't include him. Well, that's it folks. All I can do now is wait for a female to come out. Not much else we can do. Alright folks, I'm just gonna keep them in here and wait for the female to come out. Not much else we can do except hope and pray. No guys, oh no, we have 2 more moths, but... Okay, this one is a weirdo. It looks like one of his wingtails didn't form properly for some reason. Has a very unusual shape. Can you see that? Anyway, that's not the reason why I was a little bit upset. It's because we got 2 more males. Now, I love this species, man. I'm nervous to get a female, but I think the breeding project, even though everything went well, we may not end up with a pairing. Simply because the females are not willing to show themselves on time, unfortunately. Well guys, once again I'm happy with what seems like a really positive result. We have 6 males. Look at that. That's great, isn't it? We reared a lot of a rather hard to breed and rare species, but I am frustrated because we have 6 males. I would be so much happier if we got a female right now. We desperately need 1 female. Like I said, I only raised a dozen cocoons. I think we got like 13, 14 cocoons. I keep forgetting the number. But that means this is half of them already. This is half of the moths that I've reared. And if we don't get a female anytime soon, I'm gonna be in a big problem. I'm gonna be in trouble. It's not my fault, you know, it's not my skill as a breeder that has failed here. It's really just luck. To be to succeed with rare species, you need knowledge, you need skill, but you also need luck. One of the things I don't like about this hobby is how much of a role stupid luck can play. That is not very fair, if you ask me. And the thing is, at this point, there's nothing I can do about it except wait. You know, it's my only option, is waiting. I don't like that. It's gonna be in the hands of fate right now. It's going to be in the hands of sheer luck. Let's hope that for once luck is on my side. It generally has been in my life, but you never know. Of course, breeding this super rare species is a privilege, and if I don't get a pair in, if I don't get a next generation, I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna be all sad, you know, like just rearing them from caterpillar to moth is something that many people would dream of, you know, it's a big accomplishment, but I would be happy, really happy, if we can go one step beyond that. So I can breed more, you know, so I can breed more in the next generation. I can keep them going, that's the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an emergency! An emergency! Oh God. In the middle of the night. A moth came out and I think it's a female. Please be female, please, please be female. Oh, is it gonna be a male? It's another male. I guess the universe is not done clowning on me yet. So terrible. God, people, it finally happened. I hope this time I am not mistaken. I think it's real and true and honest. Because I heard some movement in the moth cage in the middle of the night and oh dear, it has finally happened. Folks, it looks like we have 2 more moths. One of them is sitting here in the corner. It's a male, but what's really important is we finally got ourselves a female. You will not believe how happy and excited I am. This is our first chance of pairing this incredibly rare species. I am not bluffing. It is incredibly rare. I've said it so many times and I need to complete the life cycle. Badly. 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 Here they are, the new male and the new female. Such lovely creatures. Gotta take them with me right now, ASAP. I have the enclosure with all the other males. One of them has lost its tail. That's what can happen after several days when the moths get older. They can get damaged. This species has a short lifespan because it's very small. It has a shorter lifespan than other species of moon moth even. Wondering how to get this female off into the cage somehow. It's not easy. I need to get her to walk. Sit here. Come on. Get off your stick, little lady. Thing is, I want to get rid of her ASAP and place her in this enclosure, because the longer the light is on, it's gonna disturb the moths. They are nocturnal creatures. There we go. She's in. She's in. Oh, she has like 7 males for herself, alright. That's a ridiculous amount. If these don't mate, then I'm gonna go crazy. For the next step, we shut off the lights. And we check back tomorrow. I'm so nervous. I really hope it works. Wow, I look pale. Like a ghost. Ooh. I'm gonna be so happy if this life cycle works out. The real question is, did the moths mate? Hey, this is Bart. I slept last night. I couldn't stay awake to see what the moths are doing all night. Yeah, even I have other things to do sometimes. It's hard to believe. I know that I'm looking at moths maybe 13 hours per day, but sometimes I need an hour for myself for a biological mechanism called sleep. I know it sucks. Why have I been cursed to require this sleep? I do not know. Anyway, I saw something curious this morning, and if you are a fellow breeder of silk moths, you know what this means. Because this morning, the female and a male are sitting real close together like this. Now guys, what does it mean if the next morning the moths are sitting this close together? What it means is they most likely have mated. This is a male and a female. Funny thing about moths is that observing the moment that they mate can actually be a challenge, especially if you have other obligations in your life. One interesting thing about moths is that observing the moment they mate, it can be a challenge. And if you are a fan of my channel who watches most of my videos, then you know this. because I have uploaded several life cycle videos on YouTube where we have a second generation of moths where the eggs are fertile, but where we never filmed any pairing of any moth species. It happens often, you know, that I don't really know if a male and female have hooked up. The good news is sometimes they stay together until the next morning, and ironically it's the male with the deformed tail, it seems, that has mated with the female. I do not mind. He probably came out of the cocoon in an awkward way. I don't think that he is unhealthy or unsuitable for breeding. But what this means is that, yeah, this male and female right here have probably mated last night. Like, I am about 95% sure. I can never be 100% sure because there's always a chance that they coincidentally ended up sitting here close to each other, but I don't think so. I have trouble believing that. So I think these two, yeah, look at how they're sitting together. This is how they mate, you know. Their stomachs align and they hook up. So this is, I think, from last night a mating, a pairing. Which means that we're gonna have fertile eggs. I'm not gonna cheer yet. I'm not gonna scream it off the rooftops. I did it! Yay, I'm successful, because first I wanna see some eggs, and then I wanna incubate those eggs. And when I see the babies, that's when I will celebrate. My hair, huh? I haven't cut it in a while. Maybe I should grow it out. It's been a while since I've done that. I look even more undomesticated. So I'm gonna touch the moths, guys, which is okay. I think the pairing happened last night. So if I touch them now, it's not gonna disturb the pairing because it already happened. Sometimes they just like to sit together in the morning. And thing is, I still have to show you the female, you know. So here we go. The female. Ooh, wonderful. As you can see, the female is a little bit different looking from the male, especially the shape. Can you see the difference a little bit? First of all, her wings are more round. They have more soft round edges. Bigger wing surface area. She kind of almost has a heart shape in a way, if you catch my drift. Or more shaped like a diamond. You know what I mean? You probably don't. Anyway, maybe it's best if I compare her with a male. Aha! Perhaps now you can see the difference. See the different shape, male and female? Looks different, doesn't it? Looks different, because it is different. And now in a lot of moon moths, the male and female have a totally different color. Doesn't seem to be the case in neidhoeferi. Seem to be mostly the same. Well, what color is it? Is it like a pale blue, green, whitish? But you can see the males, typically they have more sharp shapes, you know, very sharp wing edges. Oh, the wind is not really collaborating with me today. Like usual, Dutch weather doesn't like to cooperate with anyone. Ask anyone from the Netherlands. The weather in this country. Thing is, we don't even have bad weather in the Netherlands, but it's just unpredictable. In my country, you can have any day can be 20 degrees Celsius or 5 degrees Celsius. Doesn't matter if it's summer or winter, you never know what's gonna happen. Anyway, see? Male versus female. Male versus female. Big difference? Well, to me it's a big difference. To the untrained eye is probably not a big difference, but yeah. So just the wind. Gosh, look, that's the cage. the male and the female together. Guys, these are some rare images. You don't just see this on any other channel. Oh, I'm glad you found my channel so I can show you this, because of course I am proud of these kind of videos. I do have to be careful that they don't fly away, so I'm not gonna film them extensively. Just enough for you to see the difference between male and female. Take a good look, because I'm gonna take them away. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Now, I am not somebody that breeds insects for money, but one of these moths can sell for $100. Yep, that's how rare they are. If I preserved all of these in a collection, that would be... This would sell for probably $700 worth of insect. I'm not joking. For collectors, this is a very valuable species. I've seen females sell for like $200 in the past. Yeah, one female insect. Thing is, as they become more common in the hobby, the price will go down because more and more people will breed them, and you know, it's supply and demand. The demand will go down, the supply will go up. As many people like me are breeding them right now in captivity, but still, this is valuable stuff. Now guys, Actias neidhoeferi is a small species of moon moth. I said it many times in this video, it's a small species, it's a small species, it's a small species, it's a small species. But how small is it really? Perhaps we can compare it with other moon moth species, you see. My name is Bart Coppens and I have a YouTube channel about moths. I am probably the biggest moth breeder on the internet right now, and I have many species that I'm breeding behind the scenes, including many rare ones. And that allows me to do a little comparison. This right here is another beautiful species of moon moth. It is called the Chinese moon moth, Actias neidhoeferi. It is yellow and pink, and it has long tails on their hind wings. So in that sense, it's a really beautiful and fascinating species. It's a medium-sized moon moth, in my opinion. Even compared to other moon moth species, it is, by average, a little bit smaller than average, because some moon moths can get really large and they inflate the average, I suppose. So take a good look at this. I don't want to make the video about other species of moon moth too much, but it's cool to do a comparison, right? It allows us to learn more about entomology and insects. So take a good look. This is the Chinese moon moth. I breed them many times. So let's compare it. So side by side, the Chinese moon moth is actually quite a bit larger. Can you see it? Of course, it's hard to do such comparisons because they are live animals and they are not very cooperative, but let's hold them close together. See the difference? It's actually not a huge difference, but it is a difference. The Taiwanese neidhoeferi is definitely smaller than a Bernardi. It makes you wonder, can they interbreed? Maybe that's something for a next video. If we put them side by side like this, yeah, we see Bernardi is a little bit bigger. It's hard to do a one-by-one comparison though. Have to be careful because I don't want the moths to be startled or fly away. Anyway, beautiful species, aren't they? But what if I told you there's even bigger species of moon moth I can compare them with? Yeah! Yeah, take it in for a second. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, but this is also a moon moth from the genus Actias. It's not even the biggest species, but it is one of the bigger species. This is a female of the Malaysian moon moth, scientific name Actias menas. And as you can see, this species is a giant. I breed them. I breed this species too behind the scenes. They're actually easy to breed. It's a beginner species. It's just that obtaining them in captivity can be tricky sometimes, you know, not every year do people offer the cocoons or eggs. But if you can find them, they're actually not so hard. You can raise them on cherry, prunes, they love prunes. They also feed on liquid amber or sweet gum. And many other plants, reportedly even eucalyptus. If you have eucalyptus, you can probably raise them. There's a lot of more plants, but I don't want to distract the video too much with other species, but I like to do comparisons, it's fun. It allows us to see these animals in context, you know, in the context they deserve to be seen. And now suddenly the difference becomes a very big one. Can you believe these two moths are from the same genus? They are both Actias species. Actias meidhoeferi, Malaysian moon moth. Actias neidhoeferi. And a lot of people, especially noobs or beginners, they would be more impressed by this moth than by this moth. Because humans have a primitive brain. Something bigger, something shiny is more impressive, right? We tend to be impressed by big, cool thing instead of smaller thing. But let me tell you, this is actually a much more special species. Actias neidhoeferi is one of the world's rarest moon moth. It's endemic only to Taiwan, found nowhere else. While this one has a huge distribution, so it's funny how that goes, right? People always tend to gravitate towards the big things. Well, this is actually much more special than Actias meidhoeferi. Anyway, it's not a competition, guys. It's not Pokemon. It's not find the rarest species, right? Who cares? Just have fun. We don't study animals just because they are rare. That's ridiculous. But it's good to educate people about it and make them appreciate the small things in life. That's what I'm trying to do on this channel. I'm trying to make people appreciate even the tiny, insignificant species because they can have very interesting stories. Oh, look guys, the whole gang is here. From small to big. Well folks, the whole gang is here. Are you getting jealous yet of the moon moth species that I breed? Because you should be. Anyway, these moths are for different episodes. So don't be too distracted by them. We are focusing on neidhoeferi today. Anyway, as beautiful as they are, don't be too distracted by these moon moths. They are for different YouTube episodes, for different MothCycles episodes. I just wanted to do small comparison. I have a lot of species of moon moth and I've raised many. So you've seen the episode where I raised the pink spirit moth, still one of my favorites. Remember that? I could go on, but let's move on. Honestly, this is about the super rarity Actias neidhoeferi, which is perhaps more special than all these other species in my humble opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, the female should have laid her eggs, and so did I this morning. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna collect them, see if she laid some nice eggs for us. Now keep in mind guys, when I obtained this species, the valuation of eggs of this moth was $10 per egg. Price has probably gone down because the species is becoming more and more common in the pet trade, you know, because people are spreading them like crazy, like wildfire, and more breeders are going to breed this moth. And you know, supply and demand, I've said it before, but they're still pretty valuable. Have to be careful so the moths don't fly away. We don't want that to happen. But we can see here in the corner these go out of the way, moth. This is a pile of eggs here. Can you see it? And I'm sure there's more, so we're gonna collect them and place them in a box to see if they're fertile. Ladies and gentlemen, so far I've collected all the eggs. I've counted about 77 eggs. So if you're wondering what $700 worth of moth eggs looks like of a rare species, this is it. Even if I sell them for half the price that I bought them for a few months ago, Would still be about around $350. I need to stop talking about money. I need to tell you guys something. I am not a commercial breeder. I don't breed moths for money. I don't breed insects for money. That's not why I'm in it. I'm here to gather new knowledge about nature and talk about their conservation and show you life cycles of insects that are never been shown before on YouTube. Alright, that's what I'm here for. Not here to make a quick buck by farming moths. And even if I wanted to, it's not a profitable hobby anyways. Anyway, there we go. I wonder if the female has more eggs left than this. She may get up to 80 eggs. Well guys, literally all the other males and females are dead. They're gone. Everything is dead. But a new moth just came out. It is another female. She is of course single at the moment, but hopefully there's gonna be some change in that if a male pops out soon. Until then I've probably officially only had one parent. And ironically I think all the females that I've raised are gonna come out now, after pretty much all the males seem to have hatched and died. More or less. That's the trouble of breeding silk moths for you. It's random, it's uncontrollable to the point where it drives you crazy. So I guess enjoy some exclusive footage of this lone little female. She seems to have long tails though for a female, so that's interesting. They are cool little moths, you gotta admit it. Very precious. Very beautiful. Oh, you guys are so pretty. Best moon moth I've had in ages. Now the life cycle is more or less completed, but we still have some moths coming out left and right. One thing that makes this species really special is their small size. It's a really small and cute moon moth. Some people call them the mini moon moth. See if a male shows up, probably not. Just gonna put her in this little moth enclosure like this. And that's it, we wait. We wait for a few days. Hello everyone, here is an update for the Actias neidhoeferi. We have 2 more females and sadly, they are single. Yeah, that's right. It's very typical how the males come out of their pupa first. And the females are much later and delayed in their development. Also, a friend from Brazil is visiting me. She's called Natalia. Natalia, what do you think about the moths?
They're so pretty.
They are, aren't they?
Cute.
You have to be careful, they're trying to escape, I guess.
Yeah,
there we go.
To fly.
Very cute.
They are.
Thank you for being in this episode, Natalia. Oh look, show his little face. Show his little face. Here. You can even make a close-up. See that?
Yeah.
Move your finger so people can see his little eyes.
I'm trying. Let my hand go.
Okay, I'll let your hand go.
Look.
How cute.
Yay.
Whee.
Oh, it's so cute.
Natalia is helping me make my videos today. She gets a chance to make a cameo on YouTube. I'm showing her how we show off the moths. So yeah, these are 2 females, ladies and gentlemen, but I think they're gonna die single. But that's okay, because we had babies this morning. That's right. Some of the eggs I collected later are hatching, so we're gonna have another brood of these. So, unlike, but yeah, these 2 have a lot in common with me, because these 2 are gonna die single, unfortunately. But yeah, let me show you the babies. Thanks, Natalia, for joining us.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a really hot summer day. I don't like super hot days, but I'm smiling, grinning from ear to ear, even despite the terrible sound the neighbor is making. This is how some people spend their summer, can you believe it? Couldn't be me. But the Bart Coppens YouTube channel can't stop winning. I checked the eggs of Actias neidhoeferi and I found dozens of babies. We must have over 70. And that means we did it. We completed the life cycle of one of the rarest moon moths in the pet trade. Oh, I am so happy. This year is one of the best years ever for this channel because this year I made a MothCycles episode about many rare species. Alteria montezuma from Mexico, Calosaturnia walterorum from California and Mexico, and some real fat rarities, including Actias neidhoeferi. Ooh, we did it! We did it! Yeah. So much noise pollution, but we carry on. Even the noise pollution can't ruin my day. Yes. Here are the many baby caterpillars that are going to make my day. Make my day. Amazing. Incredible. I am gonna use the paintbrush to place them inside their new home, just like we started this episode, remember? I'm so happy! I am so happy. Wow. Well. It's gonna be another generation of moon moths, at least for me. I think I'm gonna rear some more just for fun. Just because they are so rare. What? There goes for ya another life cycle of a rare beast. Oh my gosh. The Bart Coppens YouTube channel cannot stop winning lately. Wow. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me on this episode. I really love making these videos and I hope you guys love watching them as much as I love making them. Incredible. And I hope that in the future I can film the life cycle of many more moon moth species. They are for sure some of my favorite moths. Wow. In the end of MothCycles, when we complete the life cycle, the breeding part of the video is usually over. But after that I typically have an educational part. A little presentation about the ecology and biology of the species that we rear today and what it is that makes them special, what makes them tick. And that's what I'm gonna do now. Let's start the presentation. Very welcome, my friend. If you're watching this video, then you are a real and true friend of the channel. I do not know many people who care about these super long, super extensive and detailed moth videos. I do it for the 1%. The most crazy moth nerds and entomologists on the internet. Somebody who can watch a video of 2 or 3 hours about one moth species. The most curious and intelligent ones. That's you, by the way. That's you. And today, I'm happy to talk about my favorite species of moth. Actias neidhoeferi, the Taiwanese moon moth. A lovely and a breathtaking creature. Now this species, Actias neidhoeferi, is endemic to Taiwan. In ecology or biology, endemic refers to a species that exists naturally only in one place and nowhere else. And only in Taiwan can you see this amazing species. Taiwan's climate is primarily subtropical due to its geographic location near the Tropic of Cancer. The island's climate is highly influenced by the ocean, and it experiences high humidity and rainfall year-round, with some regions facing tropical conditions, especially in the south. Taiwan is subject to monsoonal influences and typhoons, especially in the summer months. Taiwan experiences high humidity year-round, contributing to a generally sticky and uncomfortable feeling, especially in the summer. The humidity can often make temperatures feel hotter than they actually are. Taiwan's 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn and winter, are very moderate, with relatively subtle transitions between them. Spring and summer are described as warm, and autumn and winter are described as pleasant to mildly cold. In the lowlands, summer temperatures can reach as high as 35 degrees Celsius or 95 in Fahrenheit. Winter temperatures can be as low as 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees in Fahrenheit, but this is talking about the lowlands. Rarely lower than that. As you can see, there are gentle seasons here. But there is a distinct spring, summer, autumn and winter. Actias neidhoeferi, however, is a high altitude species, which means they are found in the mountains. Not that they fly high in the sky, of course. In Taiwan, it is generally found between 1800 and 2900 meters or so. And the environment in this zone is special in a lot of ways. We'll discuss the details right now. It is a very rare and also a very small species of Actias that is endemic to the mountains of Taiwan. In Maoli Country, the East Coast National Scenic Area, Nantou Country in general, Jilan Country, Taiping-shan National Forest Area, Hualien Country, in the mountains of East Taroko National Park and generally in the mountainous regions of central Taiwan, also present but more rare in the south. For example, parts of Taitung Country, where it's very rare, as is the Xinjiang National Forest Recreation Area, where it is found in higher altitudes. I hope I pronounced these things correctly. Sorry guys. The habitat of Actias neidhoeferi is more or less subalpine coniferous tree forest. This is medium to high elevation where the trees, of course, still occur. The environment is chilly and humid. This appears to be a trend among some moon moths. Perhaps because their ancestors and even pine tree themselves and their distributions are usually dictated by glacial refugia. Either way, Actias neidhoeferi faces cooler temperatures and higher humidity. In nature, Actias neidhoeferi has 2 major host plants, and both of them are endemic to Taiwan and found in the subalpine zone, and sometimes even into the alpine zone. Abies kawaikami, known as Taiwan fir, and Picea morrisonicola, the Taiwan spruce. Yes, interestingly, both species are endemic to Taiwan. We have an interesting case here of a moth that is endemic with endemic food plants. Truly, Taiwan is extremely interesting when it comes to entomology. I would love to visit it one day. Cold, temperate coniferous forest in Taiwan, the high mountain forest with species like Taiwan hemlock and spruce, are considered endangered or vulnerable, mainly because they exist in a very narrow and fragile zone, and face both human and natural pressures. These forests are found only at high elevations, typically between about 2,500 to 3,000 meters, where the climate is cool and moist. Because Taiwan is a relatively small and mountainous island, this suitable habitat is naturally restricted and often fragmented, making the ecosystem rare and sensitive to disturbance. Human activities have significantly contributed to their decline. In the past, logging removed many valuable conifer trees, and more recently high-altitude agriculture and road construction have cleared and fragmented forest areas. These activities do not only reduce the size of the forest, but also degrade the soil, making it difficult for the ecosystem to recover. Changes in climate also change local tree communities. Secondly, Taiwan fir and Taiwan spruce are at risk as endemic species. Climate change is another threat. As temperatures rise, the cool conditions that these forests depend on are pushed further up into the mountains. However, since there is a limited space at higher elevations, the forest cannot continue to migrate upward indefinitely, leading to a gradual loss of habitat. In addition, Taiwan is frequently affected by typhoons, which can damage trees and disrupt forest structure. While these forests can usually recover from occasional storms, repeated disturbances, especially in already weakened areas, make recovery much harder. What's interesting is that if they are forced, the larvae will eat many types of conifers in captivity. The main exceptions seem to be pine tree or the genus Pinus. They really don't like it. Which is interesting because most other moon moths specialize themselves in feeding on pine tree when they tend to feed on conifers. So that's interesting. However, the larvae of this species can definitely accept plants they don't eat in the wild. They have been raised by other people before on larch or larix, on abies or fir, on picea or spruce, on tsuga or hemlock, on pseudotsuga or Douglas fir, which means they can actually eat many species of conifers, just not pine tree for some reason. Cooler temperatures. I mentioned it several times before, but indeed, it deserves a separate slide in this presentation. Here is a climate chart of one of the places where Actias neidhoeferi is found in nature. In this case, a locality of about 2,500 meters or so in altitude. As you can see, there are actually seasons. In summer, temperatures rise up to 23 degrees Celsius, which is pleasantly warm. It's not hot during the day, but at night they sink to about 15 degrees Celsius, which people would call chilly probably. But in winter, day and night temperatures on average hover about 12 degrees Celsius during the day, and they dip down to 5 degrees Celsius at night. Please do keep in mind that this temperature chart does not represent every place where the species is found. This is just in one location, named Dayuling. Pick another random place where the species is found. Here is a spot close to a location named the Kuan Wu Workstation, which seems to be a mountain. And I think they have a monitoring place. And this place here is about 2,090 meters in altitude. Similar temperatures. Interesting. Or how about Alishan, where I also saw some records of moths in the area. Again, similar climate charts in similar altitudes. Makes sense. What's interesting if we look at the chart is that the temperatures seem very mild because of the altitude. But if we look at the coldest season, which is effectively winter, frost seems to be super rare. In fact, I looked at similar data when it comes to the habitat of Actias neidhoeferi, and on average, most only had about 2 to 3 days of frost a year. This means that while they do face cold, chilly nights, a mild summer, freezing temperatures are actually very rare. Most of the time, the habitat remains comfortably somewhere between 5 to 20 degrees Celsius or so. In January, we can often see cold nights, getting close to zero in some occasion. So in conclusion, in the wild, this species experiences an interesting environment. One where it never gets truly hot, but it also doesn't seem to get truly cold. Temperatures are always mild and chilly. Seasons are less pronounced, but they are definitely there, possibly tempered because of the subtropical environment of Taiwan. Humidity seems generally high, influenced by the monsoon season and the high altitude cloud cover. The flight time is something interesting, because it seems that there are small numbers of moths in nearly any time of the year. However, flight time data seems a bit scarce, since the species is sadly not frequently observed. So I did what any based YouTuber would do: steal some information from iNaturalist. Of course, iNaturalist has a huge observation bias, especially when it comes to rarely observed species. One thing is sure though, there seems to be at least a peak of observations near May and June. This could mean that the species definitely has a thing such as a peak flight time. Most of the population flies in this time of the year, but definitely not all of them. Remarkably, low numbers of moths are recorded in almost any month of the year. Although there is a curious absence in October and November. However, the number of total observations is pretty low, since this species is rare and rarely seems to have been recorded in high numbers. So this data may be a bit skewed. So what does all of this mean? Well, this is a bit of speculation. It's hard to draw conclusions from a small amount of observations after all. But if we combine what we have seen in captivity with the faunistic data in the wild, we can assume a few things. First of all, the brunt of the population appears to be active in May and June. So perhaps they do follow the seasons and they do have something like a peak flight time, which only makes sense and is something that most moth species have, to be honest. But it's also interesting how individuals have been observed in almost every month of the year. This suggests that the species is multi-brooded for the most part, and not all the individuals follow the same rules. It is possible that the species is almost always reproducing and breeding in smaller numbers, even though they might respond to warmer temperatures and have more of a mass emergence in the warmest time of the year, but are also capable of breeding through most other seasons. The species does not appear to have The species does appear to have one short potential diapause in October and November maybe. So yes, maybe it has a very short hibernation somewhere between October and November. If we believe the limited info that we currently have, that is. This does sort of align with what happened in captivity. My moths did not diapause and immediately produced a second brood, it seems, while I kept them relatively warm over here on room temperature. And later they would even go on to produce a third brood. If kept warm, it seems, this species in fact never diapauses. Based on the climatic data that I could find, surprisingly, the species also rarely ever at all experiences harsh frost. Freezing seems to be rare in the subalpine zones where the species occurs in the wild, although the habitat is constantly cool and very mellow. This implies that while the habitat of Actias neidhoeferi is indeed on the colder side, temperatures never actually get extremely cold and stay comfortable enough for the moths to emerge from the cocoons and to reproduce in almost every month of the year. Wow, what a mysterious species indeed. But in order for me to say something more conclusive, I would in reality need more data from the moths in the wild. Something that unfortunately seems to be a little bit scarce, as of today at least. If we had thousands of observations instead of just dozens, and more dedicated studies, the graph might look a little bit different. Don't forget, I'm trying my best here to educate people with the materials that I have available. But while I do my best to be accurate, at the end of the day I am merely just a YouTuber trying to speculate based on the limited information we have. And in this case, who knows, I might even be wrong. It's generally difficult to talk about the ecology of species if they are very poorly studied species. This species is also known as the mini moon moth to some. Indeed, the wingspan is quite small, smaller than most other moon moth species out there. They're about 2/3 to even half the size of an American moon moth, Actias luna, as a famous example. It's possible that this small body size is an adaptation to both the constant low temperatures and of course the fact that coniferous trees, as part of their diet, might be tough to digest and comparatively to other plants lower in nutrients. Not stating this as a fact, just speculating, but it could very well be true. Just remember, they're really small, I guess. Actias neidhoeferi is generally rarely ever recorded. In some cases, males do come to artificial lights, street lights, or gas station lights, for example. Females, however, are sometimes rarely observed, if ever at all. This is possibly due to the fact that they are also less active. And maybe, for more mysterious reasons, they are less strongly attracted to lights and live a more hidden lifestyle. The species is so rare in fact that entomologists have only managed to document and publish its full life cycle for the first time in 2013, which is not only relatively recent but also 45 years after the species was described to science. That's relatively recent if you really think about it. This YouTube video is probably the first ever digital footage of the caterpillars. Yeah, we might actually be the first to document the species and its life cycle in a video like this, or in a video in general. Taiwan is a tremendous hotspot for endemic species. Perhaps I'll visit it one day and film it. A man can dream, right? There's about 16 species of endemic mammals, out of 80 species in total. About 30 species of endemic birds, about 50 endemic reptiles, about 30 endemic amphibians, about 30 species of endemic freshwater fish, and over 400 endemic insect species. Well, estimates vary wildly, because many are still being discovered. So it's very clear Taiwan is a special haven of wildlife that must be conserved and treasured. Taiwan is a really special place for insects and nature. On my channel we have raised several species from there before, but I do intend to keep going, When we speak of beauty in this world, it's impossible not to think of Taiwan. This remarkable island is a place where nature and culture exist in harmony. From its misty mountains and lush forests to its vibrant night markets and beautiful temples. It seems comforting, and Taiwan's ecology is a treasure. Within such small islands, an astonishing range of ecosystems, from tropical coastlines and coral reefs to cool alpine environments exists. Places like Cocooning National Park show vibrant marine life and sunlit shores, while ancient forests echo with the sound of rare birds and endemic species found nowhere else on Earth. Before we dive more into the magic, I want to take a moment to recognize a truly incredible individual who has played an instrumental role in making this moment happen. This person is anonymous, but their generosity has made an incredible impact on our journey. Thanks to their unbelievable support, we've been able to do something extraordinary. We've brought the Actias neidhoeferi, the majestic Taiwanese moon moth, to life. Not only have they financially backed this endeavor, but they've helped to make something truly rare and breathtaking come to fruition. So let's take a second to show some serious love and appreciation for the mystery sponsor who made all of this possible. Their support is more than just monetary. It's a commitment to preserving nature, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and inspiring us to dream bigger. Running this channel takes time, effort and resources. Your donations help me keep creating content, to improve quality and to stay consistent without cutting corners. If you enjoy what I make and want to support its growth, your contribution makes a real difference.
Guess what? This may not be the last generation of moon moths that we've seen on YouTube. So you're wondering probably, how is that second generation of moon moths currently growing? Yeah, I don't want to drag this video out too much. We've seen the whole life cycle, but it's nice to show you a little teaser.
I'm typically not really the kind of breeder that likes to breed the same species for several generations. Not that there's anything wrong with that. No. It's a hobby. It's not that deep. You can do whatever you want. If you enjoy breeding the same species hundreds of times, be my guest. Have fun and enjoy these beautiful animals. But I like diversity. I like biodiversity and I like diversity on my channel. But this species is a little bit of an exception. For what reason? Well, there's two reasons. Reason number one, it's a rare species. I don't have to tell you that again. I've told you so many times. I've rubbed it in your face. Sorry about that. The emphasis on rare kind of went out of control in this video. But what it means is that I don't have another chance of breeding this species again in the future for a long time. I have been in this hobby for over 10 years and I've only had the opportunity to breed this species maybe 2 times in 10 years. So yeah, I am enjoying the moment as long as it lasts. I'm going to drag this out and see how many generations of this moth that I can get. So this is the second generation of the moths that you have seen in this video. As you can see, they are growing really well. I'm really shocked by how well I'm doing with this species. Everybody told me they're really difficult. And back when I was a newbie, I actually failed them. And it was a very disappointing moment in my career. Hope you remember.
But I also got a really big announcement from a long-term viewer of this channel. You see, I kind of have a big announcement. Probably one of the biggest announcements that I've had on my channel. A long-term viewer really stepped up his involvement in what I do. And I'm going to read you now my message that I've received. Hello, Bart. My name is Mr. Zhang. I hope I pronounced that right, Mr. Zhang. I'm a nearly retired entomologist with Chinese Taiwanese ancestry. I have grown up in Taiwan with a major fascination for swallowtail butterflies and emperor moths or the Saturnidae. In my childhood, I remember rearing several local species before I moved away to China as I got older. So he lived in Taiwan, but now he lives in China. I have reared many native species of silk moth from Taiwan. Cheers to you. So have I. I really like Taiwan, it has beautiful nature. But one species I always wanted to breed was the Taiwanese moon moth. Yeah, that's this one. In case you didn't know. I remember finding males of this species when I was younger, but I never found any caterpillars or females. Yeah, they are rare in Taiwan, especially the females. Many people in Taiwan have never reared it. I keep getting distracted. But I never found any caterpillars or females, so I was never able to start breeding them. A childhood dream of mine was to see the life cycle of these insects for myself. However, due to having moved away from Taiwan and how rare this species can be, this dream never became a reality. I have followed your channel for many years, and I am grateful for the content that you make. Well, thank you. It allows me to relive some of my childhood experiences. What excites me about your channel is the almost scientific way that you approach things. Do I approach things a scientific way? I'm not so sure. I'll take the compliment though. That being said, it feels more like entertainment than science sometimes. Although I did document many life cycles of insects of which it was never documented before. Does that count? Anyway, he appreciates the almost scientific way that I approach things and how in-depth I am willing to go. It is clear that you care about these animals. I think you are doing a good job for conservation, and you clearly put more effort in your videos than any other YouTube channel that demonstrates the life cycles of moths. Well, thank you for saying that. This is going to be really arrogant, but I agree. I don't think there's any channels that do it on this scale. It's not a competition though. I'm happy if other people make videos about moths and butterflies. I don't have a monopoly on the subject, but I am really happy when people notice my effort. And this is my most arrogant opinion, but I do think I do more effort than anybody else on this platform that talks about butterflies and moths, both in quantity and quality. So, of course I was as excited as a child. Is it an expression, like being excited as a kid? When you announced you were going to breed one of the rarest silk moths of Taiwan. That's why I am willing to help boost your channel with a $2,500 donation. I hope that you will use it wisely and will spend the budget in order to film more life cycles of rare insects. Greetings from a Chinese Taiwanese superfan that will be very excited for this episode. The entomology community supports you. Well, that's a very emotional message, isn't it? I'm not even sure what to say. there's a lot of people who support what I do and who support my channel. But at a donation of 2,500, 2,500, sorry guys, English not my native language, I get it confused. Anyway, it's hard to even react to. I just feel stunned like a deer in headlights. What I will say is this. I promise you from the bottom of my heart that I am genuine with this subject. I am not a YouTuber who is here to fill his pockets. Yes, I am crowdfunding. Yes, I am raising donations all the time. But I only do it for one reason, one single reason. It's because of my love and passion for this subject. And my willingness to promote it. And if you don't believe me, you are foolish, because the proof is here on the internet. I have made over 1,500 videos, 1,500 videos about insects. Have you realized how insane the amount of footage is that I upload consistently? That's not all. I have a website with hundreds of pages that I've written myself. I make books. I make guides. I make care sheets. I am here constantly talking, filming, educating. I have traveled the world. I have gone to Brazil. I have gone to Uganda, to Asia. Just because I am that passionate about the subject, I have traveled the world. Just for moths. And I am really happy that some people recognize this, that they recognize the scope of what I do, of how serious I am about insect conservation. I am not an exotic pet owner that is here to pose with exotic animals, you know, to promote his diminutive personality. And I hope people see that. I hope people see what's below the surface. I hope people see that what I do is much deeper than uploading funny moth videos and life cycles. I hope they see the passion, the depths of it. I hope they see the love. I hope they can see it, feel it, and taste it. Now, on this channel we have a tradition. When somebody gives me this big of a donation, then I will light sparkles for them. So these sparkles are going to be for you, Mr. Zhang. That being said, sparkles for 2,500. Yeah, $2,500. It feels like it's not enough. There's no way that I can ever repay you. For the people watching, I know there's going to be two kinds of people watching this right now. The first kind of people who are watching this are the kind of people who are going to be happy for me. People who follow my channel and who support me. They're probably going to be happy with this, because you will be rewarded for it as well. You see, using this very, very big donation, I will be able to take a lot of time off work to make videos. A luxury that I typically cannot afford. Second of all, this gives me a very big budget to go all the way. To breed many species this year, which is expensive. It's an expensive hobby sometimes. And being here filming all these life cycles is very time consuming. And of course, people who watch my channel know the following thing. My YouTube channel is demonetized. This means that technically I don't make any money from my videos. Technically, I'm making all this content for free. But I'm saying free in quotation marks because in reality I'm not making it for free. I have some really strong supporters. I don't want to present myself. as a charity case. I know that there is a world where people cannot afford rent, where people are starving. And I've always said, help yourself before you help others. Before you send a donation to a YouTuber, make sure you are willing and able to afford it. I am not necessarily a charity case, but I am somebody who is independent, somebody who is demonetized, and somebody who is genuine. Somebody who speaks out for a topic that many other people don't speak out for. And I do hope that people recognize that. And I do hope that people know that I am not entitled to such insane amount of donations. But at the same time, I am not entitled to it. But I am going to try and raise and ask for it at the same time. Right? Being entitled to something is different from asking for it. I'm not entitled to it, but it sure does help. It helps to ensure the future of this channel. Like the sparkles. Let's hope it works. Haha! Here it goes, Mr. Zhang, if you are watching, this is for you. And for the insane amount of support that you have given me. I am completely out of words. But because of you, this year, we are going to have more MothCycles episodes than I've ever had in one season. All because of your contribution. I have a big budget now to make videos and to educate people about insects. Something that is really and extremely important, if you ask me. In a world where people don't care about the environment, people don't care about insects and biodiversity, I think ignorance is an existential threat to insects and their conservation. As somebody like me promoting them on YouTube, I like to think it makes a positive difference. Even though I don't really have a way to measure that, I don't really know how many people are inspired by my videos. Maybe nobody cares. Or maybe there's many people because of my channel who are inspired to support insects. I like to think so, but it's hard to quantify it. That's the main problem. But I do want to say this. I am genuine. I mean it. And I've had many concerns of the future of this channel. You see, it's difficult to do what I do. It's difficult being a YouTuber that cares about a subject that nobody cares about. It's very hard to make a subject like moths popular. It's not a mainstream subject. And that's an understatement. How many people do you know that are willing to watch a 2-hour-long moth video about one species of insect? It barely exists. It feels like in many ways I am one of a kind. And it's tough. It's difficult to make it work. It's really hard to have a YouTube channel like this, with this much commitment. And to try and make it work, both financially and in other ways, algorithmically, in terms of viewership. The YouTube landscape is changing. It used to be all about retention time, you know. About the amount of time, you know, watch time, how long people used to watch your video. But nowadays everything is about retention. People want ADHD type of content, you know, people want TikTok-like videos, which is very unfortunate. YouTube Shorts are changing how YouTube works. Many new YouTube moth channels are arising and have more competition than ever. And sometimes I wonder if I have to change my formula of what I do in order to stay relevant. Because it seems like all that people want nowadays are short, quick videos that are not very educational. People want a 30-second YouTube shorts or an Instagram reel or TikTok-like video that shows a cool species and that's it. People want 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. But the long videos that I used to make, like this one, that are very popular, are actually losing popularity now. And it feels like I have to adapt or change. But then I realized something. And this is very shocking. But YouTube is not all about views and subscribers. That's a stereotype. And I realized that my channel has something that nobody else has managed to accomplish. I have a cult following. I have a small channel. I don't have that many subscribers and viewers. In fact, I'm not even the biggest moth channel anymore. There's channels who upload viral YouTube shorts, viral clickbait, and they are getting more subscribers and viewers than I do. And I often wonder, do I have to compete? Do I have to change my formula to be like them? And then I get donations from Mr. Zhang. Stuff like this that really shows me the real perspective, the real outlook. It's not all about views. It's not all about subscribers. It's about the community. And I think that by a long shot, me and my community are still going to be the biggest entomology community on the internet when it comes to moths and butterflies. And nobody can take that away. Because my videos cater to people like Mr. Zhang who watch my videos. People like you and me who are total moth freaks and butterfly freaks. And we want to watch long videos. We want to watch videos that last for hours. Videos that talk about every detail about the ecology of one species. We want to see it. And these kind of videos, to a lot of outsiders, they may be a total waste of energy. Here I am, filming a video of several hours long that's gonna get maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views over time. If I'm really lucky, it may get 20,000 views. A small amount of views for all the effort I put in it. And it makes me doubt myself. Should I make viral clickbait? Should I appeal to a bigger audience? But then I think, no, I shouldn't. The reason people take me seriously, the reason people take this channel seriously, is because they know I am genuine. And because I attract the people who really care. The entomologists like Mr. Zhang. And that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Even if other people are starting to surpass me in the amount of subscribers and views. I don't care. The more the merrier. More people should talk about the subject. More people should promote the subject. And you know what? I have peace. I have peace with the fact that not everything is views, views, views. Because at the end of the day, my channel is demonetized. Even if I get 100 million views and 100 million subscribers, I will make $0 from it. It's people like Mr. Zhang who are really the lifeblood of my channel, who allow me to travel the world to document rarities, genuinely, to grow to great heights. And that's my ambition with this channel. I want to reach a new pinnacle. I want to make a real impact. I want to change how people think about moths, butterflies, and insects. I want to make a systematic change. I don't want to get viral views for a cute moth video compilation. I am here to talk, to speak. I'm here to share my thoughts, my mind, my passion, my love. I have so much love for these animals. I feel like it's bursting out of my chest. And I hope people will see that in the end. And recognize this channel for what it is. and for the things that it's really doing, even if that impact is so hard to quantify. Thanks for watching. I got a really huge donation, so you know what? I have enough budget to last for many months. At the same time, I'm still going to say it. If you like the show, if you like what I do, if you believe in what I do, if you want to see more videos like this one, you better go to my Patreon and become a member. Because this channel is demonetized. YouTube tried to kill the beast. They demonetized me many years ago, and they never even told me why. I literally sent them an email begging, "Well, YouTube, why did you demonetize my channel? Did I break any rules?" And I got an automatic reply saying they cannot share the rule or guideline that I have violated. That made me demonetized. Let me tell you something, if I break a rule, I am open to the consequences of it. I will accept the punishment. I will accept personal responsibility if I break a rule. But if you punish me for something and you don't tell me what I did wrong, how am I supposed to learn from it? Maybe I did something terrible. Maybe I said something controversial that made me permanently demonetized. But at least tell me, YouTube, at least tell me what I did that was wrong. YouTube doesn't want to tell me. And effectively this would have killed my channel, but as I've said, YouTube tried to kill the beast, but it only made it stronger. I am growing stronger because of the support of my viewers, because of the support of people like Mr. Zhang and many others who have my back. So you better watch out, YouTube. Demonetizing me was a big mistake. Because people have my back, no matter what. And for this, I am eternally, eternally grateful. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who watched, everybody who subscribed. That was an emotionally charged moment, if you ask me. It makes me proud to have a community that's so supportive of me. Feels like I almost have a little cult following. Don't worry, I'm not gonna be a cult leader anytime soon. It's hard to do that with moths. But I am an eccentric person. And I guess I invite a certain level of goodwill that I am very grateful and thankful for. To all of you watching, thank you. I'm sorry to bring up money so many times as a subject. I actually don't like doing it. It degrades the quality of my videos. Really, it downgrades the quality. I would just like to end the life cycle of a moth and just boom, this is the end. Let's move on to the next video. But we can't. I always have to talk about donations and crowdfunding. I'm sorry, I know it's repetitive. I know long-term viewers don't want to see it all over again, but I don't have a choice. Because apparently it's working. Somebody just donated $2,500 to me to make insect videos on the internet, which is insane. Which is more than I deserve, to be honest. Way more than I deserve. And I will guarantee you, I will spend it wisely. I'm gonna make the most awesome videos for you guys that I am capable of making. You're going to see the difference this year. But yeah, it's working. And I have to bring it up. Because the other option is making soon close to 2,000 insect videos without any support from anybody. And that is just unsustainable. And if I have to beg for it, even though people don't like the audacity of it, I don't care. Life is about asking what you want and receiving it. People can say no, and they have the right to say no. I don't expect everybody to donate. If you are not willing or able to, I respect that decision completely. It is not warranted, expected. It is something that you do if you are willing to afford it and able to afford it. but it supports the existence of my channel. And if that's worth it for you, that depends on you and how you value my channel. Maybe you think this channel sucks. Maybe you don't care about it. Maybe you like this channel. Maybe you liked all my videos, but you don't think it's worth losing finances over that you need to use to pay your own bills. And that's fine. That's completely fine. I respect that. Everybody is welcome to watch my channel, and I don't want to give the impression that I expect something from my viewers in return for them to enjoy my videos. I'm not like that. Despite how often I bring this stuff up, I'm absolutely not like that. So yeah, it's hard to find the balance, isn't it? The balance between having a budget to work, to make videos from, and the balance between not being obnoxious. My compromise is I only do this kind of segments on my longer videos. You will see a big change on my channel. Like the short videos I upload, they don't have this talk about crowdfunding anymore. I cut it out. It's just to the point. But the long videos are the one who I need the most resources for, like this one. A lot of editing, a lot of time investment, so it makes more sense. See you in the next one. Let's pay the credits of the people who subscribe to my Patreon. See you next time with a life cycle of really cool species. Bye bye. So here's
Yeah.
here's this thing. Oh, nice picture. In the wild, you know, entomologists, they use artificial light to attract the moths. Remember when we did it yesterday, moth trapping with the light bulb?
Yes.
But the problem is, not all species of moths come to light. And species that don't come to light are very hard to study, right? Because it's very difficult to attract moths. In general, a lot of species have a very cryptic and hidden lifestyle. So that means you're not randomly just going to find them, you know. During the day they sit still and they only fly for a few hours at night. And the females of this species,
Yeah.
they don't come to lamps very
Never.
much. Well, they do, but it's very rare. So for entomologists in Taiwan, it's very rare to find a female of this species. I know
And you have to.
I know some entomologists who work in Taiwan full time, doing moth trapping across the country. It's one of the people who sent me the eggs of this moth. And maybe he gets a female of this species only one time per 2 years.
How do you got them?
Well,
He sent
he's
them to you?
he's what we were doing yesterday, the moth trapping. He's doing that almost every day in Taiwan.
No, leave it.
Okay, you want to take more pictures?
Yes, because
It's
it's,
very
so
cute.
freaking cute.
It's very freaking cute. I agree. Just like me.
The hell?
Yeah, just like me.
Oh, look. Oh my god.
It's very fluffy.
No, and the colors green, yellow, pink.
I'm not sure what color is it. Is it blue?
It's a green. It's
Green. Kinda. It's a very strange color. It's like it's white, blue, and green at the same time, isn't it?
No, it's green, pink, and yellow.
For me, it's like mint green or something.
Yeah, it's mint green.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're so cute.
You're
little
very
baby.
sweet. I think we have bad luck. It's starting to rain.
I had a video